These fucking chips my wife bought are so fucking good. I'm not
That's
supposed to be
that's
eating them,
great.
and I'm eating them.
And we're live.
That's a good way to open the stream.
Yeah. These fucking chips are so good.
It's fucking delicious.
How is everyone tonight? Let me guess. There's 2 people in there. 3 people.
It's just 4 on mine. I don't know.
Uh-oh.
How is everyone tonight? Let me guess.
Oh,
There's
that's
2
me.
people in there, 3 people.
Like you didn't know.
Uh-oh.
It's not me anymore. I turned it down. Oh,
Hey, Amy. Hey, Tim.
Speaking
Hey,
of the
Amy.
devil,
Yeah. How you doing?
yeah, we were just talking about you.
I think it's funny that Amy and I have basically the exact same thoughts on this new Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie.
I'll watch it. Hey, Royce.
Did you watch
Hey, Tim.
Did you watch my video on it?
No. I already knew what
Basically,
your
I
thoughts
say
were.
that I really hope that it. Well, do you really?
I already knew what your thoughts were.
What are my
Because you've been
thoughts?
talking about it for, since the trailer premiered. You've been kind of shitting on it and,
I haven't shit
kind
on
of
it.
hoping
I've been
it'll be
giving it
okay,
best.
but you don't have much hope for it.
I don't. I hope it'll be good though. I really do hope it'll be good, but I just don't.
Yeah, you,
it
Amy.
will
We were
be,
just talking about your live stream that, yeah.
I also was curious. I asked the question: is this a movie anybody actually wanted? Because
Who
I've
wanted
heard
the rest
nobody
of
say a
them?
word about wanting a TCM movie since Leatherface came out, like at all.
Look,
Nobody talked about TCM at all.
I think I fall into that category because no matter what, I will always want sequels.
Me too.
No matter what, I don't care if they suck or not. I'll just keep taking them because at some point I'm gonna find something I like in them.
Hey, friend.
See, for me, if it's Halloween, yes, but if Texas Chainsaw Massacre, honestly, I could give two shits. I like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but it's way, way down on my list of franchises.
My thought is always if people don't want to watch it, they don't have to
top
watch
5 status.
That's always been my thought. So it's like I'd rather have the option to watch it than to not have the option to watch it.
Right.
So if people don't want it, then they don't have to watch it. People do.
Everybody complains about every single horror movie that we get, then they'll just stop making horror movies altogether.
Exactly.
Yeah, the mask looks really weird.
Does it look promising? Probably not.
But do we really need a 5th direct sequel to the original? This is the
it's kind of silly.
Sequel.
It's kind of silly, but the timeline is just so messed up in that series.
The problem is the timeline is already so messed up.
Yeah, it is.
Like, where do you go? You know?
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
and
Danny.
It's even more messed up in this movie. I guess it's exactly 50 years later.
47, yeah, 47 years.
But, well, no, in the movie it says 50 years later is what it says in the movie.
Sally says it's been 47 years. She says.
I thought she said. I'm pretty sure I thought in the trailer
they might have messed that up too.
Even if it is 47, okay, that's 3 years. Even
the
if
synopsis,
it is,
the synopsis
they're saying that he's
50.
60
I think
years old in the movie, so that means he would have been
13.
But they're 60 years. He's 60 years old in the movie, so they're saying he would have been what 13 then.
That's what I said
at the
last
time
week,
of the original. Yeah. That's a pretty fucking big 13-year-old.
I know.
Exactly, Amy. Exactly. Like, I don't have a lot of hope for it, but I want it to be good. I want it to keep the franchise fresh. I really like Leatherface. Everybody crapped on Leatherface when it first came out, but I really liked it.
I did too. That's why I think that's one of the better ones in this franchise to me.
I think so too.
I think it's funny. I like the ones that people don't like. And but like the trailer just have not got me excited, but I want it to be a fucking hit. I want it to be such a hit that they make more of them and they keep like you said, Jay, if horror movies do good, they'll put out more horror movies.
Right.
See, I mean,
that's what I find interesting is that I don't think it's going to be good based on the test screenings, but based on the trailer, I think it looks a lot better than people are making it out to be. Like seeing the
I haven't
trailer,
seen enough.
obviously they're going to show good bits like the part in the bus and stuff. I mean, I want to see Leatherface, saw some people up. That's what I'm watching for.
Exactly.
So at the end of the day, I mean, if they get some cool kills, I'll ignore the age thing because I ignored it in Texas Chainsaw 3D, which is, that's a shit show itself. I love Texas Chainsaw 3D, but she wasn't in her 40s, the main girl in the movie.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
You have to. Yeah, it's.
So
and I like that one too.
I'm willing to look past that if it has some good deaths and if it's not too. I hate to use the word, but how everything else has been lately, I won't even use the W word. With characters and stuff like that. If it's a straight up good slasher film, and I don't mind, people say,
judging
Sally
by the trailer, it might be anti that.
The Sally thing rips off, Halloween 2018 because it's the same storyline. But you know what? I like Halloween 2018, so I'll watch it for this one too.
Judging by the trailer, though, the only part of the trailer I actually really liked, and I forgot to mention it when I talked about it on my video, was that part where the kid's holding up the cell phone. He's like, one wrong thing and you're canceled, bro, or something like that.
Yeah, the bus on the bus.
And he just like sawed right through him. I fucking love that. It was.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like,
to me, I wonder if it's going to be like completely anti that,
Yeah.
So, but I really hope it's good. I hope that I love it. I hope I have a fun time watching it. Because I've been more impressed by the Texas Chainsaw Massacres that have come out, the movies that have come out since the remake than I was the ones prior to the remake.
I don't know about that, but I don't know. It's one of the franchises, one of the franchises that actually like every movie in it.
Yeah, me too.
Which
is good because, like I said, I
know you don't like part 2.
I have the franchise low on my list of franchises overall, but at the same time, for me, it's consistent, which is odd. Like not the timeline or anything, but the movies, like you said, there's not a movie in it that I don't like.
Right.
Yet for some reason, it's not one of my favorite franchises. I prefer.
It's kind of weird, isn't it? It almost seems like it's like on the back burner a little bit.
Yeah.
And I don't understand. Same thing with me.
And I know there's some people that are going to cry blasphemy that I'm going to say this, but Leatherface, the character of Leatherface, does not deserve his top 5 spot.
Oh, you're out of your mind.
He should not be in the top 5.
You're out of your mind. Yes, that is blasphemy.
He isn't even close to being.
Dude, don't take away my horror icons. We don't have that many of them.
But who else would be in the 5?
Dull character. I never thought he was a good character. He's dull. He has no personality. He has no charisma. His best charisma was in part 4.
Here we go.
Part 4 was his best.
But for me, that's what makes him scarier. That he's just like a killing machine. Like he's this guy with the mask. Like
Michael Myers has no fucking charisma.
Sometimes I don't necessarily need the personality.
Michael Myers has a mystique, though. That's the thing. Michael Myers has mystique, and that's what makes him so great. Michael Myers has mystique, and Michael Myers has style. Leatherface has no style.
I'm going to be honest. When I was younger, I would have preferred to be chased by Michael Myers walking after me than Leatherface chasing me with a chainsaw.
Yes, me too.
Like, and that was not putting the whole the pure and simply evil thing into perspective. Just looking at them as both killers. Like a killer like Michael Myers. Again, as a kid, I was thinking, okay, I would take a shot with Michael Myers more than I would take a shot with Leatherface because the dude runs and he has a chainsaw. He was just scarier to me as a kid.
To me, Michael Myers is way more scarier than Leatherface.
Yeah, but
Leatherface
you're talking about mystique.
I can see that going 2 miles any direction.
Yeah, you're talking about mystique, though. You have to understand that you grew up. Your very first one and your favorite one is the remake. And they do go into a little bit more of his past history in that one.
Yeah.
With Joe and I, with the, Joe's about your age too, but growing up before that even was a thought, he was mysterious because the family was mysterious.
Yeah.
So it's almost like they've tried to build so much on the franchise that they've taken away a little bit more of the mystique,
I guess I've just never been really that frightened by the whole crazy redneck thing. It
I
doesn't.
think
do
I
it.
think that's a good point that you just made, Jason. Because like Brad, the first one you saw the remake first. You said
Yeah.
too, right? So
Mhm.
I do think that changes perspective on it.
It does.
The first one I saw was obviously the first one. That was one of the first horror movies I ever saw. Was the original.
Miranda,
Texas
I am
Chainsaw
busy.
Massacre.
Go away.
And I don't know. I just
Go
think it
play
was
or something.
definitely scary back then.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you.
I don't think I would have been as creeped out by it if I had seen the remake first, because there's a little bit too much more information.
See, I think the remake is way scarier than the original.
Leatherface doesn't have
I
charisma.
mean, the Leatherface in the remake is scarier than Gunnar Hansen's Leatherface. The movie itself is darker and scarier than the original.
It's
Yeah, I
just
don't-
The
ramped
original's
up.
more of a. I've said it before. The original's more of a mind trip.
I don't get me wrong. I think the remake is one of the best remakes, but I don't think it's scarier than the original. The
Yeah, I
original
don't either.
had that rawness like that, like as if someone was just filming it with a handy
Yep.
cam, like while they were there, like a documentary style. It's just more raw and real to me than the Hollywood version of it as the remake. Again, as much as I love the remake, it felt more like a movie, whereas the original didn't.
And that dinner
I've
scene
always
just
felt the
messed with
atmosphere
my
in the
mind
remake
so
is way
much.
scarier. And the way it's shot and the cinematography on it just makes such a great atmosphere.
Well, it's a great remake. It really is. But I don't know. Seeing that for the first time, it was very disturbing seeing the original for the first time. And years later when I watched it
See, nobody
again,
says that.
it still holds up well. That dinner scene is
the-
just crazy.
The tantrum scene at the end, especially just him like
Yeah.
dancing around the street with the chainsaw twirling around, like nothing's really happening. It's just him like moving around in circles with the sound of the chainsaw, and it's still effective. And then it just
Yeah.
cuts. Like I always thought that was so effective. Like even as a kid, I thought that was creepy because it's like, okay, she got away, but who's next? He's just, I don't know. He's just left right there outside the street, and there's going to be no reparations for it. Like at least Michael Myers, you think the cops might be able to catch him, and then he disappears. And you get to see the different things that happen with Myers. With Leatherface, nothing really happens. His own chainsaw cuts his leg in the first one. But other than that, nobody kills him. Nobody, he doesn't get arrested. Like he's just there to continue doing that to the next people that come by.
And then they totally fuck it up by putting him with 5 different families after in 5 different movies.
I agree, Royce. I agree.
And see, I was just about to say, everybody says that, Royce, but I've never agreed with that. I don't agree that it was a groundbreaking film.
Yeah, but you saw the remake first.
I agree that it was unintentionally influential. Unintentionally.
Yeah, but whether it's intentional or not,
even
it's still
Toby
groundbreaking.
Hooper says that it was completely accidental.
Okay.
A film like Halloween was completely on purpose.
He didn't
Everything
mean
they
that
did in
to
that
be
film, all of the tricks, all the
groundbreaking.
camera work was all on purpose.
Everything
they did
makes
in
a
Texas
movie
Chainsaw
in
Massacre
order
was
to
an
be
accident.
groundbreaking?
Yeah, Halloween wasn't intended to be groundbreaking.
Yeah.
John Carpenter said that.
He worked with what he had.
He never thought it was going to be anything spectacular.
Right.
No,
Neither
but
did
everything
anyone
they did
else.
was something they designed for that movie. It's something they came up with. It's an idea they had. With Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it just was a happy accident.
See,
Halloween was a happy accident.
I think Halloween. I think Halloween is the greatest horror movie ever made. But Halloween also took influence from other horror films, whereas Texas Chainsaw Massacre did its own thing.
Yeah,
that's the difference for me.
Well, even that can be debated. A lot of people talk about Texas Chainsaw Massacre now taking its influences from Freaks and movies like that.
They seem really different to me.
Yeah,
there's a lot of You ever seen Freaks? I mean,
me?
Yeah.
Of course.
It's pretty.
It doesn't remind me anything of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, though.
No, it reminds me more of movies like, kind of like The Funhouse and Sideshow, movies like that.
But just
That's
having
the kind of movies
totally
it reminds me
horrifying
of.
and disfigured characters and things like that. I don't know. I'm just saying. I still think that the original's overrated.
Again, watching the original first, you don't see that Leatherface is disfigured. You just see him wearing a mask. You don't see anybody really disfigured in the movie. It's just a crazy family. I mean, they don't look disfigured.
Yeah.
I mean, the grandfather.
Yeah, and it is
That's
based
true.
on Ed Gein. Yeah. I mean, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is based on the Ed Gein story.
Yeah, but again, it's loosely based.
Well, Halloween was based on something
Everything.
too.
Yeah.
Everything's loosely based. No, I'm just.
Yeah.
I know that. I'm just saying what Tim's saying.
I'm just saying. I think
I'm
at the
just agreeing.
time, Texas Chainsaw Massacre was more original than Halloween was at the time that Halloween was released.
I agree. I just think Halloween did it better than any other movie that
Exactly.
ever come
Exactly.
before.
It
Yeah.
excelled at what other movies had done before it.
Right. And don't get me wrong, that was an accident. He had no inkling that it was going to make that kind of money, that it was going to be that
Well,
popular.
it took it 11 years to do so, though. They talk about that. I remember I talked about that in my review too. That when it first came
Yeah,
out,
but
nobody
that-
saw it. They had to
Now,
keep pushing
for what
it,
that
pushing
movie
it, pushing it like
was,
11 years.
for the amount of money that they had for that movie still at the time made a shit ton of money for that company.
Well, I was thinking about it like, go ahead.
I mean, it made millions
Mhm.
on a $300,000 budget.
Okay. Yeah,
What?
Psycho had like an $800,000 budget. This is in 1960.
Yeah, that's a different time though. Yeah,
$800,000 budget, and it brought in $50 million.
yeah,
$50 million in a less than a month run in theaters.
yep.
I mean, that's humongous. I mean, if that was today, it would be in the $1 billion mark. I mean,
In a way, I kind of agree with you, Royce. In a way, I mean, we've gotten other depictions since Ed Gein, but it kind of did start with Ed Gein in a way.
I mean, Psycho was based
which is
on
why 2
Yeah.
is the way it is, and that's why I hate 2 so much. Because it does you go from this super ultra serious fucking horror movie to just a joke of a comedy.
I don't look at it that
away,
way
and that's
anymore.
always killed me. I've
I don't
always
either.
hated that.
See, that's the thing. When I first saw Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, as well, that I didn't like it because of the comedy, and I didn't like comedy in my horror. But now, when I watch the film, I don't look at those parts as comedy. I look at them as actually a little bit more disturbing.
I think I have to say TCM2, I really do like it, but it's on the bottom of my ranking of the franchise.
Yeah.
Just because I like the others more. But
Yeah.
that being said, I honestly think Toby Hooper made the right choice in going that route, because I do agree with him. If he had gone tried to go for the same feel as the original, it just wouldn't have lived up to it. And I feel like people wouldn't still be talking about it today. Whereas
You're probably
having
right.
this different tone, it's kind of set things in motion where now you have 3, which is like a tiny bit of 2, and mainly like 1. It has like its own feel to it. Then you have 4, which I know a lot of people hate, but I friggin' love, which has that wackiness, some of the wackiness of 2, and more of part 3, and not really much of 1.
Oh,
But-
most definitely, Amy. Most definitely. And and that's the thing. Like we're talking about how many direct sequels it has, right? The original movie has now, with this new one, 5 direct sequels. If it was me doing it, I would take part 4 over part 2 any day of the week as the direct sequel.
I mean,
Because there were in part 4, yes, it was kind of silly, but there were some parts that were legitimately terrifying, like the tightrope, or when they're like on those wires trying to,
yeah,
you know what I mean? And then when you find out that the actors did that with no safety equipment,
yeah.
and they were freaking out the whole time, it's pretty amazing. But if any of those original movies, I think that at least have a close enough feel to the first one, would probably be part 3.
Oh, I think so
I
too.
mean,
Three's my
like
favorite.
in terms of atmosphere and of the original ones. But like you said, for me, I really enjoyed the Texas Chainsaw direct sequel. And like you say, yes, it's fucked up on the
Yeah, the
timeline.
timing. Yeah.
But
Well, all of them are messed up.
and of course Andrew Daddario running around half fucking naked, and her tits
Works for me.
doesn't hurt it. Does not hurt it at all.
The only thing that frustrates me about it is that not that they messed up the timeline, but that they unnecessarily did, because they didn't have to show the friggin' date. Like,
Yeah.
had they not done that, then no one would have known when it was supposed to take place or anything. Like, they made it clear that.
Well, that
what year-
and they could have just they didn't have to mention that she was born, Yeah, or like you said, that it was based in a different year. You know, that
Yeah.
actual movie.
That was the problem. Was when they showed the gravestone with the dates on it, that fucked it all up. It was like no matter
Yeah.
what, she would have been in her 40s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, I really do like that one. That one's one of my favorites.
So Shudder has a bunch of the Universal stuff on it right now, so I'm going to put on Frankenstein in the background. I love that this movie had to have an intro to talk about how scary it was going to be.
What the?
I don't know. Like I said, I hope this new one's good. I really do. Maybe it'll be a revelation. Maybe it'll be the best one since, for me, since the remake. I don't know.
I mean, that's the thing. I'm excited
I
to
don't
see it.
think it will be, but maybe
I'm
it
not
will be.
expecting it to be good, but I'm excited to see how bad it is. I don't know. I want to see how bad they shit the bed with it. But with that being said, I'm also one of those people where people shit on everything and then I end up liking it more than they say. So these
Me
test
too.
audience, for all we know, could just be maybe
Exactly.
it's like we said, like what you were saying, Brad. Maybe it's very anti woke agenda, and you have these people at the test screening saying, "Oh, this is not what we want to see," because everybody wants to see a certain thing right now. So who
Or
knows?
maybe it's just people that wanted free tickets and they don't even like horror movies.
You
never know.
Something else that I really, something else that's really bugging me about it, and I don't know if this is 100% true or not. It's just something that I've been reading a lot of, and that it's already been released that it will not ever get a physical release ever.
What?
The new Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie.
Oh, that's bullshit. That's, to me, that is total.
Like, Netflix will not give it a physical release.
It's stupid because you have so many fans out there. You're guaranteed that not only is it on Netflix, but you're guaranteed sales because you have people that are stupid like us who are completists, that are going to buy it.
Even if I hate it, I would need to buy it.
Exactly.
Yeah, me too. The only one of that I, as we've talked about before, that I haven't is the Child's Play remake. It's the only one I don't feel I need to own.
You do.
Never going to buy it.
Part of the franchise.
I'm telling you, I'm never going to buy it.
It's part of the franchise.
No, it's not.
I did. I talked to Don last night. And he said it was officially part of the franchise.
No, I'm sure he did. I'm sure he said that. He would probably stab himself before he said that.
I don't even if Don told me himself, like personally, if he said this movie's not part of the franchise, I would still have to own it as the completist because it's called Child's Play.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just my mental state. I would have to still have it in my collection.
Yeah, we're very much alike on that one, Joe.
Like I don't.
It's like saying Halloween Night is part of Halloween. It's just a movie they ripped off of Halloween of.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the character called Chucky, and it's called Child's Play, and it's just.
Actually, he wasn't called. Well, I guess he was called Chucky.
Yeah,
but he was a buddy. He wasn't even.
He was a buddy
doll. He was a buddy.
Yeah, but he was called Chucky though.
They couldn't use the good guy reference because that belongs to the Child's Play franchise, the real Child's Play franchise.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Ben, and Amy, because I actually really enjoyed the Fear Street films. And I would like to own them on a physical release, and that's probably not going to happen. Well, I don't want to say it's not going to happen, but apparently they're making more. So if this thing holds its popularity, I can see that maybe they'll get a physical release. Who knows?
Well, Netflix puts their series out, but their movies. I mean, Gerald's Game still hasn't got one. Hush, which was a huge hit for them, still hasn't gotten one.
Even that series, they don't finish. Like they only released a couple of seasons of
like the first or second seasons.
Yeah.
Like Lilyhammer, Stranger Things. Like they haven't released all of it yet.
Daredevil.
Mm-hmm. It's like they start you off, and
now
like,
Peaky Blinders is all released, but that's also a BBC show.
Yeah,
it's only streamed on Netflix here in America. It's a BBC show everywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I still gotta watch that.
Yeah, I can't stand when things don't get physical media release. It just
Well, unfortunately, I think it's going to happen more and more, Joe. Unfortunately, with the Peacock and all the streaming services,
4K has gotten bigger. So
yeah, but the thing with that is, again, if they guarantee that nothing's ever going to leave streaming, that's one thing. But you know,
picking and choosing.
Yeah, you can't just pick
Yeah.
and choose, and then this. All right, this is coming at the end of whatever June. This is leaving Netflix or Shudder or whatever else, and now you're scrambling to find if any other streaming service is going to pick it up.
Yep.
And if you don't have that streaming service, now you have to decide, okay, do I want to pay for this one now because I already have this one and this one. So if you can just buy it right out, you have it forever, and then you can actually show it in the video, like I like to do, and have it
Yeah.
on your shelf
That's-
and hold it in your hands. And
That's something I like about Shudder is at least they are giving all their exclusives.
yeah, they
A
they
lot of
release
those-
it.
Yeah,
they
but
get
for how
those-
long? Because they're all going to the Dollar Tree. I mean,
Well, that's just because people aren't buying them.
At least
well,
they're
if they're
out.
not buying them. They're not going to
They're-
keep releasing them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know.
No, they're gonna get. They're either. I'm not saying they're not selling any
Hey, Hops.
because I think Haunt did pretty well, but they're not.
What
They
did?
make so
Oh, yeah,
many
yeah.
copies, and then not everybody buys enough. So
Hey, Hobbs.
um,
You know what? I don't think Haunt was a Shutter film. I think it was
Yeah.
a Shutter exclusive.
it's
there's
a
a
Shudder
difference
exclusive.
between
Yeah,
them.
but that's what it's even marketed on the DVD. That's a Shudder exclusive.
Yeah, but there's a difference between a Shutter original and a Shutter exclusive, and I'm starting to find that out now as I start buying the movies.
Yeah, like I have like Scare Package, which was a Shutter original, and then
Right.
I have Haunt, which was a Shutter exclusive.
Right.
Which it wasn't
Right.
made by Shutter, but it was exclusive to them when it came out.
Yeah, but at least they're releasing them all,
But
you
they're
know,
still-
and that's the important thing.
Yeah, I like that exactly.
Yeah, me neither, Royce. I was kind of pissed off about that. Everybody was getting good Shutter movies, and I was like, damn, they got shit at mine.
We didn't get jack shit on this latest one. They had a bunch
I
of
know.
the same, like
It's all
they had
kids'
4
movies.
They had like 4 movies, and it was like 50 copies of each one.
Yeah.
I was like, and then there was, like I said, I got the Lost Boys, The Tribe, even though I've never seen it, and I'm really not a big fan of the franchise, anyways. But it was only $1 for
It's
a
okay.
Blu-ray. Why the fuck not? You know,
Actually, you might like the other two more because they're
Probably will.
because they're not like the other film.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me.
But that's why I pick up shit for you guys because a lot of you guys don't have the same ones around you that I have.
Yeah, I never get that.
Yeah, but
I
I mean,
mean-
Shudder. But then again, too, like Dollar Tree even gets Scream Factories and shit. So
I know.
I mean, they get whatever people order too much of, and I don't know if it's like your regional area, like I don't know how it works because like I noticed that like they get a lot of Walmart ones, ones
Walmart
from
specialty, yeah. Mhm.
Even, and I wonder if it's like okay, all the ones in New Mexico, like get stuff that New Mexico WalMarts have excess of,
Yeah.
or that kind of thing. I don't know if it's like that, and then maybe that's why you get certain titles that I don't get.
Right.
Or sometimes we get all the same titles because some movies just don't do as.
I think a lot of that has to do with the Hamilton bookseller too. I think that's how they do things as
Yeah,
well.
they get a lot of them too. I noticed,
Yeah. Yep.
and then they charge like $7-8 for them.
I thought they were all good, all the Lost Boys movies, but they were all very different from one another. In my opinion, anyway. I mean, they kind of had the same sort of background, but as the first one was like more of a real movie, the Thirst was kind of like an okay sequel, and then the last one was more of a nostalgic sequel.
What are DT movies?
Dollar
Dollar
Tree.
Dollar
Tree.
Tree. Sorry, sorry, I wasn't thinking clearly there.
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
They do, Royce.
I think that's what happens in my area. By the time I get there, it's like everything's cleaned out.
See, I don't buy 'em to sell.
I'm straight up. When I see them, I don't. I'm not going to buy every single copy of them that come out, but I
No.
fucking get at least one copy of each one that I find.
Yeah, and I
And
usually,
some, like,
if I
they
find
get
them,
Wild Eye
I'll
too,
buy a
so-
copy for you and Joe as well, normally.
and they get
Alright.
Wild Eye too. So like, I'll buy even if I own the movie already, I'll buy the copies on Wild Eye, just so
I
I,
do
can
do
put it in
that,
the
yeah.
packages when I do Wild Eye contests.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Abnormal brain.
What are you watching?
The
Frankenstein.
original Frankenstein.
Oh,
Yeah, it's on
Um,
Shudder. No.
snowboarding's at 10 o'clock tonight. If anybody's interested in the Olympics, snowboarding. I think it's the women's trials, I think. Not that anybody probably cares, but
Unless it's iced, I don't
Sometimes I
care.
watch the Olympics once in a while, but the last few, I just really haven't given a shit. No.
So yeah, I know we talked about it privately, but Scream 6 got greenlit, so that's going to start production in the summer, which is awesome.
Oh, and happy birthday! Not to interrupt, but happy birthday, George A. Romero.
Yeah,
George Romero's birthday is today. Happy birthday to the master.
Bill and I were going to go see that this past Wednesday, and I'm glad we didn't get our tickets in advance because the fucking snow would have kept us from doing it.
Yeah.
I had to spend the night at his house that night because the snow got so damn bad.
Yeah.
And honestly, I've been tired since because I'm very comfortable there. I'm always been very comfortable at Bill's house, but his couches, but I just wanted to be home, you know. I kept waking up like every few minutes.
You sleep better in your own bed anyway.
Yeah.
So Amy was telling everybody on her stream that I'm not sure where she lives. I want to say some place in the upper Midwest, maybe. I don't know. But it took her an hour and a half to get her car out.
Really?
Yeah, because of the ice. And she went to Pizza Hut to get a pizza for her stream, and it was like a 2-hour wait.
Jeez.
Yeah. So she actually went home and made her own pizza. But we've actually been lucky because it's rained here nonstop for the past 2 days, but the temperature is now starting to drop. So
in Ohio, central Ohio.
That's what I thought. Somebody said you lived in Connecticut. I was like, I don't remember. I mean, I forget a lot of shit, but I don't remember Amy living in Connecticut.
Connecticut Amy in King Arthur's Court.
Yeah.
Hobbs,
all of a sudden, man.
Hobbs is in Ohio as well. I didn't realize you were a Bengals fan.
Yeah, I mean, shit. Why are you a Bengals fan if you live in Ohio? I mean, come on. I'm pulling for them, man. They're my team this year.
Hey, in the Chinese New Year, this is the year of the tiger. So
yes, and the Bengal is, after all, a tiger.
Exactly.
I found out today that a friend of mine died this week.
Did you?
And I don't know what he died from, but he was only 3 years older than me, and he was a big guy, and I hope it wasn't a heart attack. That shit scares the fuck out of me. And ever since, like, I keep having fucking chest pains today. I had some on this side, and I'm getting them on this side.
I have chest pains every day.
I don't. That's the thing. I don't have chest pains, but they were just concerned with
my back messed up. My back's messed up today. Is all it is, I think.
Hey, Alex.
When my back's messed up, my chest hurt.
Hello, Alex.
Actually, Hobbs. Actually, I'll let you tell her, Hobbs. Yeah. Okay. Because I know where you live.
Yeah, I do too. I send them shit. Speaking of which, Joe, I was hoping to get your fucking package in today, but it didn't come. I was hoping to also get my shirts for my horror mob in today, and they didn't get here either.
Well, that's cool. A lot of people in the chats live in Ohio, and I noticed a lot of people live in Michigan and Detroit when we've been in different chats or talked to different people.
No.
Yeah, this weather.
John, Project Ellsworth John.
John Kyle?
John Project Ellsworth John.
Uh-huh.
He reacted to a Lordy video that I asked him to react to. He shit all over it.
I can't.
But he reacted to the wrong one. He reacted to this like weird fucking crappy fucking live show that they did somewhere.
Yeah.
Instead of like music videos, which is so much better.
Oh, did you watch the new South Park, by the way? Anyone?
No.
I haven't watched it yet.
I didn't actually like it that much. I thought it was kind of a little bit on the weak side. What's that, Joe?
I'll have to check it out. But
I said, happy early birthday to Alex. He said tomorrow is his birthday.
Happy birthday, Alex. Early birthday. Well, it's not too far away.
God dang foot.
Yeah. So, yeah, I feel a lot lighter, Joe. Not as in lighter weight, but I feel like a big weight has been taken off my shoulders.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So, yeah, we'll see. I still haven't talked to the doctor yet, so we'll see.
Yeah, but, you know.
Like, they wouldn't have let me go home, I don't think.
Yeah, I'm used to that drill. I always ask them, I'm like, you're gonna make me wait like a month now to tell me these
Yeah.
stuff? And they're like, well, trust me, we wouldn't be letting you go if we saw anything.
Yeah. Yep. Now I just got to deal with the nephrologist this month. A kidney doctor. We'll see what's going on there.
You have to go to the gynecologist too?
Yeah. That's next too.
Hello, popping the popcorn.
We'll root for the Bengals. Hey, Katie. How are you? They reviewed Waxworks today. That was awesome.
Who did?
Katie and the Final Girls of Horror.
That's cool, Alex. So are we.
Cool. Sorry, I was working. Fridays is the worst time for me to try to watch YouTube videos. I never get a chance to on Friday.
That's usually when they do the reviews.
As soon as I get home from work, I'm pretty much doing this. Well, I'll probably watch it later, but
yeah,
like I never get to see anything hardly that comes out on Fridays. Oh,
that's one of those things that some movies I wish I could go back and experience for the first time, and Waxworks is definitely one of them.
I remember renting that one.
Yeah,
the cover alone. I used to love the cover alone.
I used to have the VHS.
I still do, yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Joe, I got the VHS.
Speaking of videos up today, everybody go check out mine and Bill's review of Misery.
Very good.
Right now, we have fun in that video. Well, what I like about that segment is we don't just talk about just the movie, but if we've read the books, which most of the King books I have that they've done movies on, most of them, not all of them, most of them. I've read most of the books, so we get to talk about the books and the differences as well.
Yeah,
and like that shit that I found out about, like the backstory for the book and why he wrote it, that was all fucking cool.
It is interesting, definitely interesting. What do you mean no one's giving Cincy a chance? Shit.
Well, yeah, Rams like the 4-point favorites, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the
Bengals
have been underdogs the last 3 games or so. So, I mean, it doesn't mean shit.
No, it doesn't mean shit. But it's like the last time the Rams were in the Super Bowl, they choked to the Patriots.
I just think it's going to be a momentum-based Super Bowl. I mean, look at how both of these teams have been playing. They both kind of been playing as underdogs these last few games.
I think it's just going to be fun because I have no real care.
I do. I want Cincinnati to win.
I want Cincy to win because they never won a Super Bowl.
Yep.
But also, it's one of those things where if Stafford wins, I can appreciate that because
at
least good for him, being stuck on the Lions all these years.
Yeah, stuck on a shitty team.
I want the Rams to win for Von Miller and for Stafford.
Is Von Miller number 49?
No, he's number 40.
He's 40, right?
But I've had so much fun watching the Bengals in the playoffs. I'm kind of rooting for them too. So it really doesn't matter to me which team wins in this. I'm gonna have fun watching this game.
Yeah, me too.
It's gonna be a fun game, unless it's a boring game. That would suck if it's a shitty game. But I don't have anybody that I hate in this game. There's nobody. I'm not rooting against anybody. I'm not rooting. I'm glad the Chiefs are fucking out. Fuck the Chiefs.
Yeah,
yep.
Great.
Glad the Buccaneers are out. I'm glad the Patriots are out. Sorry, Joe. I'm glad the Raiders are out.
Well, anybody from the AFC could have made it, except for the Chiefs. As long as the Chiefs were out, I was okay with it.
By the way, the Broncos, first of all, there's the whole lawsuit thing going on. I'm sure you heard about that with Flores.
Oh my God, that's the gayest, stupidest fucking thing ever.
But number 2,
and what's funny is the Broncos literally put forth the minutes to his fucking interview to show that all of his claims were false.
I know, it's bullshit. And then
just another guy playing the race card.
The Broncos are one of 3 probable places for Garoppolo to end up.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
they're saying Steelers, Buccaneers, or Broncos for Garoppolo.
One of the Broncos reporters out of Denver, one of the guys that does reporting out of Denver for the Broncos, he is citing inside sources that are saying that The only reason Nathaniel Hackett was hired was because he guaranteed to bring Rodgers with him, and that's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I would be surprised.
I don't know if that's true or not. These guys, these so-called reporters and their sources.
The Broncos also got the tight ends coach from the Packers too now. So
yeah, they did bring him along.
What are the teams, Joe, that Garofalo might that he's entertaining?
They had 6 places where he could end up, but they had 3 probable because the 3 teams that were going to pursue him the most.
Right.
And those were the Steelers, the Buccaneers, and the Broncos.
I hope he doesn't go to the Steelers.
It'd be kind of funny if he went to the Bucs after Brady leaving, and then Garoppolo goes there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, a lot of people have talked about him going to the Bucs.
It would kind of make sense, I think.
But
I heard the Raiders are also thinking about trading Carr for somebody else, like an even trade sort of situation. Somebody in the NFC.
I don't think the Raiders will get rid of Carr yet unless McDaniels just doesn't like him.
I also heard Rodgers could be interested in the Titans, but the Titans aren't going to have the money to pay him. And then the other thing
you also know that the Broncos went up for sale yesterday.
The other thing was a possible even trade between the Browns and the Vikings to trade Baker Mayfield for what's his face on the Vikings quarterback.
No, Cousins? I would not do that. Kirk Cousins. I wouldn't do that. I think Baker Mayfield is fine right where he is because it's a team that hasn't won, and he could be potentially a Brady to that team.
He's already been in the league how long now?
I would like for Kirk Cousins to go somewhere where he has a chance of winning too, though, because I feel like he's a quarterback stuck on one of those teams where he has Stafford. The talent. He doesn't have the people around him right now.
Yep.
And I just, like I said, I mean, this season he had like the best ratio of completions to interceptions, and nobody talks about Kirk Cousins. I mean, it's always everybody else. He just needs better weapons around him, and I think he can really make a run for it.
Yep.
See, I've also heard about Cousins possibly going to Denver as well. I've heard that too.
Who? Cousins?
Yeah, Cousins possibly going to Denver. And then also, though, I don't know if you guys know, but the Broncos went up for sale yesterday.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw that.
Joe said that here's your chance, Brad. You can buy the Broncos now.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
I put it in the group.
Well, I don't have $400 million.
Come on. You can't just pull that out of your pocket?
No.
I'm definitely interested in what happened. Garoppolo's an interesting one for me where he's going to end up.
I'm still hoping that Elway and Manning buy together.
He's currently the quarterback in the league he's currently the quarterback in the league with more Super Bowl rings than anybody else now.
That's true.
It's a weird thought when you think about it, though. When you have like quarterbacks like Rodgers still playing and stuff, because
Yeah, Rodgers is a choker. Rodgers has the weapons. I mean, and yes, he's a Hall of Fame quarterback, but there's just.
He choked in the playoffs.
I don't even want to get into it.
He doesn't always have the weapons, though. I mean, Devontae Adams is about his best wide receiver, and who the fuck heard of Devontae Adams before 2 years ago?
True.
I mean, I told my dad that. He was like, I was like, shut up.
Cousins to Cleveland for a Baker Mayfield in the second round, picking a Fig Newton. Okay.
I just I really hope that I'm really hoping that this coalition I've heard about between John Elway, Peyton Manning, and some other investors buy the Broncos. Yeah. I would love to see Peyton Manning and Elway involved in the Broncos for a long time.
He's too busy with all those commercials and everything.
Hey.
He's a trip, man. He makes me laugh. Him and his brother both make me laugh.
He's funny.
He is. He's funny. And he's good at making fun of himself. I appreciate that. I think it's fun. He's fun to watch.
I just, what all this talk reminds me of, especially when you talk about Brady and his Super Bowls and stuff. That scene in Little Nicky where Dan Marino's down in hell begging Satan to give him a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, "You did it for Namath."
Isn't Jay-Z buying the
he's like,
Broncos?
fine.
I don't know.
He's like, "Fine, I'll just go to the Super Bowl as an announcer and win myself an Emmy." I doubt Jay-Z's buying the Broncos.
So I at the doctor's, I read a little bit of this today. This is a fantastic book. If anyone's seen this, or they actually made a whole run of them. But this is the Grindhouse films. They've also done, I think I have another one of these. I think I have exploitation films. They did exploitation films, monster movies, ghost films, and werewolf movies. But this is a really, really good book. It's got a little disappointed that some content wasn't in there, but I mean, they can't put everything in them. So,
yeah. I've honestly heard no official things on who possibly could be up for buying Denver.
Tom Brady's going to buy it.
Heard rumors here
fuck.
and there.
I would fucking love that. I would
imagine
it would be the best day of my life because I would the look on Brad's face would just be priceless.
Yeah, and then 3 weeks later, the next news story you hear that brand new owner of the Denver Broncos was assassinated today.
Fuck you.
Oh, shit.
Hey, Cody, what's up, man?
What up, Cody? But what I was gonna say is that, like I said, they're looking for over 400 million from what I was told today. What we read today.
That's
Which
dropping the
the last time I looked at the estimated worth of the Broncos, remember when we were doing that, Joe?
Yeah.
They were only in the 300 million range, but now they're saying they're looking for a high $400 million offer.
Crazy.
So
Yeah, that was a hell of a package.
I don't know who's got that kind of money. Maybe Patrick Mahomes can buy him.
Fuck him.
You know, Mr. $500 million fucking contract.
Yeah, he made a video, Cody. It was a cool package. Very cool.
Thanks, Royce. Good night, buddy.
Later, Royce.
Good night, Royce. Thank you.
Thank you.
Man, I love the outfit that Victor Frankenstein's father is wearing in this scene. Smoking this funny looking pipe, wearing that Fez looking hat, with the tassel.
So have you had time to watch anything this week, Brad? Other than your Wild Eye?
Well, I watched Psycho with Bill.
The original?
So we could review that when I go over next week.
Now, did you watch the was it DVD or Blu-ray?
Other than that, I'm trying to think. I watched my Wild Eye. That was Tuesday. I watched Psycho on Wednesday.
Did you put me on mute or something?
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of what you asked. What I watched. I'm trying to think.
No. Did you watch it on DVD or Blu-ray?
Oh, DVD because I took the, that Psycho 4-pack I got. I just took that over there because it's easier to, instead of carrying a bunch of different ones over.
I've been playing in the snow. Washington Commanders. I think that's a joke.
And then, like I said, Wednesday I didn't go home because of the snow. So, I think it's gay, Ben. I really think it's gay.
Imagine going from the Redskins to the Commanders. It's like
I just want to know when they're going to take the Chiefs out. I'm offended.
No, the Chiefs is okay because they're not saying it as anything to the skin.
There's an arrowhead on there. Everybody knows.
Think about it. They can beat a drum, though. That's not offensive anymore.
The Chiefs are okay. The Braves are okay.
Of course they are.
You take that drum out of Kansas City, you're gonna have a fucking riot on your hands.
What about the Blackhawks?
The Blackhawks. You can name them after a specific tribe, but you can't just call them Redskins.
Fuck that. I just think it's ridiculous. Whatever. We all think it's ridiculous.
God damn it. What else? Did I watch anything else this week? Oh, yeah. Remember? That was technically last weekend, though.
What?
It was Saturday night. I watched The Forever Purge and 13 Fanboy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I
Both
gotta
are
see
really,
that.
and Joe, I think you're, especially Joe, you will really like 13 Fanboy a lot.
Yeah, I definitely want to check it out at some point.
You can buy it on DVD. Amazon has it, and
Yeah.
Walmart has it. But I found one on eBay that was cheaper than both of them. So
Yeah, I watched Suspiria again. I love that movie. It's so freaking good.
yeah, I saw that you'd watch that.
I watched Phenomena, the 116-minute cut, Joe.
Yep.
Did you guys see that I promoted your? I shared your thing about you guys doing
Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing
I did.
on my
What I got to talk about
community
is
page.
junk.
Nobody
What I gotta talk about is
responded,
junk.
Joe. I thought someone would respond to that.
What I got to
So
talk
did
about
you
is
ever
junk.
find Swamp Thing's thing?
Swamp
Well,
Ass.
I noticed that when you put up my picture, I had the movie challenge right by his dick, and that was not intentional. It's just kind of where it landed, I guess. But I got to do my review for Sunday tomorrow. We're going over my dad's tomorrow finally for Christmas. Hey, because they've had COVID and all that, so we're finally going over. And then my mom's house on Sunday night for dinner.
My mom's been asking me to go up there, but
Yeah,
the
but
thing is, I don't
big
live close to
difference. Your
any
mom's
of them.
4 hours away.
Yeah.
That's a big difference. My mom's like 4 minutes away, so it's not too hard. I thought that was pretty cool. She offered to go with me today. I was like, "Damn, Mom, that's pretty cool."
So I
And
guess
nobody could
in
go with
different
me.
parts.
They have a code red all in the state. Joe
Yeah,
knows what it is,
we
I'm
had
sure.
a big blast here because the temperatures last night got down to 20 and 30 below in some parts of the state.
Yeah, we've been lucky. Like I said, we've gotten rain, but the temperature's starting to go down now, so I'm hoping it doesn't all turn to ice tonight.
We have an ice storm going on right now as we speak.
Yeah.
I guess here, and I can't believe my water didn't freeze. It got down to -10.
Really?
And when I woke up to go to work this morning, it was -4.
Wow.
So, yeah, I'm surprised my water didn't freeze. I can't believe it hasn't. Ever since I put that thing over it, and I've been making sure that the tank stays pretty full, it has not froze. What's a Batman calzone pizza?
Yes, they were talking about that on Amy's as well. Little Caesars has
Little
it's a pizza that is shaped like the bat symbol, and they make the middle a calzone. So what they do is they take and they cut the ends.
Oh,
they fold it over. It's really cool looking. Yeah,
they did something like that before, but it wasn't a bat symbol. It was like a star or something. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Oh, they did something like that before. Yeah.
Yeah, Amy was talking about that. I got to get that. I was talking about that with Corinne. We got to get that. Like I said,
So
hopefully all this crap
Danny
out there
went to
doesn't turn to ice.
Danny went to the local grocery store here in Moriarty. It's just this tiny little grocery store called Moriarty Foods.
Mm-hmm.
And they're more expensive than everywhere else around. They're more expensive than Smith's. They're way more expensive than Walmart. But I usually get wings there for the Super Bowl, from their deli. So I had her go today to tell them to order 2 dozen wings. Well, they don't do that anymore, I guess. They don't have wings, according to the bitch who was rude as hell to her behind the counter.
Huh.
So I said, fuck it. I'll just order them from fucking Domino's on Super Bowl Sunday.
This is the movie I was talking about on your stream, Amy. If anyone hasn't seen this is really good. Very good. It's kind of like a slasher and an homage to Giallo. Good movie. Last laugh.
I'll be right back.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Oh, cool. Cool, Hobbs. Yeah, they look neat. Yeah, pizza's some good stuff. You can't go wrong with pizza. I never really get sick of it. Around here, they have, and I think I took a picture of it for Joe, I think, because I was telling them about the crab pizza that we have here. Did I take a picture of that for you?
Yes, you did.
Oh, God, that is, oh. It's like there's crab dip on it instead of sauce and cheese. And oh, my God, it's just like, it's too good. Yeah. Yep. So no football this weekend, Joe. What are we going to do, man? I know what we're going to do on Saturday night, but what are we going to do for the rest of the weekend?
I might try to catch Mac Jones in the Pro Bowl just to see how he does.
Yeah.
At least I have that. I haven't watched the Pro Bowl in God knows how long.
Right. And I really don't watch it either. And I caught it a couple years ago, and they changed everything.
Well, I know I'm pretty sure they changed it back a few years ago.
They did.
It was bad. Yeah, they had like Deion Sanders pick a team and Michael Irvin pick a team.
Yes.
And then it was it was very random. I think
Yep.
they're pretty much back to the old style now. But
I was like, what the hell is going on?
I usually don't watch it, but just because Mac's playing in it, I might, I mean,
Lamar Jackson was supposed to play, but he bailed out because
there's always Patriots, but when it's a quarterback, it's a little different. At least you can actually see him do something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
If I was watching for like another player, it's like who knows if they're even going to get the ball or what.
Yeah. And plus, it's all low impact anyway, Yeah. But Lamar was supposed to be in the Pro Bowl, but he bowed out because of his ankles. Apparently, according to what John Harbaugh said in reports, his ankles have been bad for a while, and that may explain some of what happened this season. So,
well, it makes sense. It was bound to happen with the way he is,
Yep.
Happens to all quarterbacks like that, pretty much.
Yep.
Whether it's
a matter of time.
Yep.
So what are we going to do, Joe? What are we going to do, man?
I don't know. I can't believe the season's already over. I mean, yep.
Or
does it have part 4 on it?
No, but I don't really care. If you watch it, you watch it. But there's my recommendation: The Second Screamers. This is a really cool movie. I think you would dig it, Joe.
Huh.
Screamers: The Hunting. It has the guy from Arrow in it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Amell. What's his name?
Amell. Stephen Amell. Yeah, Hobbs. I saw a joke that says on Tom's first day retired, Giselle asked him to take out the trash, so he said he was going to play.
I saw some interesting pieces on him about his home life, and he talked about his wife a little bit and how how supportive she's been of his career, and while yes, he's a popular quarterback, every year that he played, he took a bigger chance of getting permanently crippled.
Of course, yeah.
So, that I imagine that was probably hard on her and the kids as well. So
you have to appreciate his training because look at how long he played. He had that one serious injury back in his second season. And ever since then, he's never really been injured.
He's come out of a few games, but other than that,
nothing like But it was always in situations where he didn't really need to stay in. Like he hasn't had any. Other than that, like I said, other than that second season, it's just I'm just saying, as someone at his age, it's just incredible to see.
Did you hear what one of the things he wants to do after he's retired? I'm sure you did because that's probably been all over the television where you are. About the fitness to kids and
yeah.
I don't think it'll ever be duplicated. I think the only people I can see actually having that kind of impact I actually can kind of see Joe Burrows maybe having that kind of impact maybe someday. Or at least not exactly, but
All right, Amy. Good night.
somewhat. Bye,
Yeah,
Amy.
I saw
Thank
that.
you.
Brady told Joe Burrow if he wins, he should retire. Don't go down the same road.
I think he has a really good chance of becoming like maybe starting a dynasty.
Don't curse him.
No, I mean, I don't know if it'll necessarily be with the Bengals. Sorry, Hobbs. But, I hope, maybe. Look at the Patriots. They were shit before.
Well,
they weren't shit,
funny,
okay?
It's funny. I was telling Hobbs when I talked to him like a week or so ago. We were talking during one of the games, and he didn't even know this. When Joe Burrow's draft year, Trump was still president, obviously.
Right.
Trump's a Patriots fan, and he was a big fan of Joe Burrow in college. So before Joe Burrow was drafted, he told Joe that he should play for the Patriots. And Joe Burrow at the time, said he was just going to go where the money went. But Trump kept telling him he should be a Patriot once Brady retired. He should go to the Patriots and carry on the franchise there. So it's just funny how it could end up working out that way. Like, say what you will about him, if people like him or not, but Trump obviously saw something in him and said that, and here we are, Burrow with the opportunity to carry on something that Brady did. So pretty cool.
Like I said, I can see him doing something big. I hope he's not a flash in the pan. I hope he doesn't get seriously injured, because I think that tends to happen with a lot of really promising quarterbacks as well.
Well, it's good to know that he came back from a serious injury after last year. I mean, he had that bad knee injury, that the surgery, and then to come back and do what he's doing this year is a good sign.
Yeah.
Some people just don't come back the same.
No, yeah, you're right about that. And Baker Mayfield's another one. I mean, say what you will, but he's a hell of a quarterback. That's why I'm hoping that the Steelers don't get Garoppolo, because then we're really fucked.
Oof, I was thinking that same thing with you. And
Can you imagine?
When I saw the Kirk Cousins things, I was like, if the Browns, I said it's bad enough now with the Browns having Baker, because they still have that ability to win big games. And I was like, imagine if they get Kirk Cousins, Garoppolo goes to the Steelers, and then you have the Bengals with Burrow. The Ravens are really going to be struggling, I think.
Well, it depends on, how Lamar comes back, I mean, don't forget, we lost a lot of players this year, and we lost them in our preseason. And they were just out all year long. So, I mean, it might be a very interesting conference.
If the Steelers don't get
you never can tell either, because you look at big quarterbacks that have gone to other teams then sucked. Joe Montana went to the Chiefs until he sucked.
What?
Brett Favre, he didn't suck, but the team sucked. They didn't win.
What, the Chiefs?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they made the playoffs when Joe Montana went there.
Yeah.
That's when they were that's when they were making the playoffs, when he got there, and then he left, and then he only played there for, I think it was like 2 seasons or 3 seasons.
He was booed out of their stadium,
We'll see. Eight now in playoff games. Joe Burrows, or I guess he would be talking about Joe Burrows in college and all.
Yeah, all of his playoff games, he's 8-0.
Wow.
I think it's going to be a good game. I have this gut feeling that it's Stafford's year, though. I don't know why.
I think,
not just Stafford, but the Rams spent a lot of money. The Rams did a rebuild specifically for this.
Yeah.
They went out and they got these players to stack the team enough because they wanted this opportunity. And
they also did that against the Patriots too, and look where that got them.
And I know. It's a matter of reading them. I mean, it really is. Like,
yeah.
I would like to say something to
Sean McVay's play calling, both on offense and defense, is unique, and a lot of teams can't figure it out. And I remember telling you that in that Super Bowl with the Patriots credit that win to Brian Hoyer, who was on the sideline, because he's able to read, like kind of like how Romo is. He's able to read plays, and that's how they were able to stop the Rams. But a lot of teams can't figure them out for some reason. So
Yeah.
if the Rams play well, they're tough to beat. The
Yeah.
thing with the Rams is they can also shit the bed, which we've seen a few times this season. So
Yep.
it's really going to come down to that. Like I said.
And the last few games, the Bengals have come out to play.
Yep.
So
Yeah, I think it's
we'll
going to
see.
be.
I want to say something to what Hobbs just said there. As a Bengals fan, we just don't know how to take it. Hobbs, the fans aren't the only one. I mean, did you watch the presentation of the AFC Championship trophy? The owner looked like he had no clue what to say. He was like,
Good for him, though.
well,
Yeah,
I'm glad
that's what
for
I'm
our
saying.
fans, and I'm glad that, you know, I was like, you could tell this is a guy who is not used to winning.
Now I'm gonna be upset about this one, and you're gonna see it in my voice. But the Patriots weren't shit until when Drew got there. They started climbing.
Yeah,
and then by chance, Brady got his chance and then took it to where it needed to be. But shit, they were in one Super Bowl before that, and they got humiliated by the Bears.
Yeah, the Bears. Yeah, we had that 46-10 loss against the Bears.
Yep.
Then 35-17 loss against the Packers with Bledsoe.
Yeah.
The Super Bowl.
I think Bledsoe would have gotten them their Super Bowl victory if he wouldn't have gotten
I do
hurt.
too. I do.
I mean, Bledsoe. I still think Bledsoe is a good quarterback. I like Bledsoe.
I think you got to clarify the one thing. Better quarterback.
See, there was a time, Joe, where I was actually a Patriots fan a little bit.
Yeah.
We call it post or pre-Brady.
I was a Bledsoe fan.
Like I said, I think it's funny that people hate on Brady. When it's like Brady's not. There's all these asshole players out there that these people like. There's all these people that are douchebags in real life, douchebags on the field. Then you have Brady, like, oh, Brady whines. Okay, a lot of fucking players whine. He's not beating his fucking wife. He's not going to jail. He's not.
That's
he's
true.
doing all these nice things
That we
people,
know of.
and
That
then
we
people
know
fucking,
of.
people hate on him. He does all these good things, and you know what I mean.
He's too shiny and pretty. We don't
So
want
it's a jealousy.
shiny, pretty.
So it's a jealousy thing for people then.
See,
No,
that's
it's not
the
jealousy.
one thing. I said this to
You
Corinne
never
as well.
trust. It's like on How I Met Your Mother. Like they said, you never trust the guy with the perfect fingernails. You know.
I told Corinne this week. I was like, Brady, for what people say about him, he retired. I mean, he's like, you don't hear shit about him. You don't hear him going out and acting like an asshole and getting arrested, getting bumped out of clubs and stuff like that. I mean, it is what it is. Kind of like Michael Jordan. You really didn't hear about him ever until like years later after he quit baseball with the gambling thing. And that was that necessarily, he wasn't in sports anymore. So I don't know.
And even that, they never did prove any of those accusations.
Right. Those kind of ones are the ones I believe that aren't true, because if they were, you know how the media loves to tear you down.
Now they have plenty of time to play more golf together.
Yeah.
And it's funny that even though I'm a bigger football fan than anything, I still consider Michael Jordan the greatest athlete of all time.
I hear you, Cody. I didn't go to my convention last year. I thought about it, but I just figured with COVID, there's just too many people at those things, and they're too close together, and I don't know. I just didn't. I didn't feel safe going, so I bailed out this year. Hopefully, last year I bailed out. Hopefully this year, maybe it's a different story. I don't know.
Okay, we're all going to die someday anyways.
Yeah.
I refuse to let COVID dictate how I live my life.
There you go. The hell with COVID. We ain't talking about it no more.
Mm-hmm. Oh, here comes the big scene everybody hated.
What?
Throws the little girl in the water.
Yep,
I think it's brilliant.
I love it.
I do too.
I do too.
I mean, it's not that I don't love the.
Could you imagine how horrible that this? But can you imagine this was considered like the most horrifying thing ever back then?
Yeah, but you know that kids, little kids, are generally taboo for most horror things. Like they don't really go for that.
Yeah, anytime someone was a kid, yeah. But like
That's why M.
it's not a very graphic scene. You don't actually really see much. There's
No,
nothing
but
graphic
it's implied.
about it.
It's implied, and the way it's shot is brilliant.
Yeah,
It's
like,
just
that's why M was so powerful back then too, because you have a child murderer.
yeah.
A movie about a child murderer, and it wasn't really a thing. I mean, like his intended victims were all children.
Speaking of killing kids, we have I don't know if you heard about this, Joe, but Vinegar Syndrome is releasing Beware Children at Play.
Oh yeah, I saw all the announcements. Yep. Yeah, did you see the American Scream too?
Do what?
The American Scream from Vinegar Syndrome?
No.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. The one that you reviewed?
For Slashback, yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. I've been wanting to see that for a long time.
I gotta get that one as soon as it comes out.
Yeah, fuck yeah. The way you reviewed it, what you talked about it, you said it was really good.
I fucking love it. It's just so quirky. It's like, I don't know, it's just different.
Wait a minute. I didn't even see that on there. I saw Drop Dead Fred. I saw
Drop Dead Fred. It's got a nice slipcover too.
What was the one about the wolf howling or shit? What was that called? They're releasing one. Let me look it up.
I'm sending you the picture of the American Scream.
I overlooked that. You can look up Vinegar Syndrome real quick. It seems like something that they would release, though. I mean, if you really think about it. And Beware of Children at Play, since they have released trauma movies in the past, And that one is so fucking expensive, Because it's been out of print for so long.
Bill picked up the. Sorry, I thought you were done.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Bill picked up that Candyman 3 Vestron.
Nice.
And he was telling me, he's like, I saw it at Walmart because he didn't know it was coming out. I did. I guess we just never talked about it.
Right.
He's like, I saw this at Walmart, and I was like, how did Vestron just get the randomest, weirdest fucking entry in the Candyman franchise to put out?
Yeah, because I know it's true.
I guess because Scream Factory has 1 and 2, so
the DVD I have was from Artisan, so I guess it makes sense.
Hell yeah, Joe.
Cool, right?
What is it? Wolfpack? The Wolfpack?
Yes.
You know anything about that?
Not really.
What do you think about Drop Dead Fred?
I'm getting that one too.
I mean, is it a good flick? I've never seen it.
You've never seen Drop Dead Fred?
Nope.
Neither.
Wow.
It just reminded me of a kid's movie, and it's not like something I would be interested in.
How to explain it? I mean, well, you got Phoebe Cates, so that makes it worth it alone. You have, you also have Carrie Fisher in it, which is cool.
Really?
Yeah, she's a character in it.
Speaking of which, both of you need to watch the Book of Boba Fett and the latest episode.
I don't have Disney, but I think I'm going to get it.
Drop Dead Fred is like a wacky sort of dark humor family film, I guess.
Okay. You think I'll like it?
I think you would. Brad probably won't.
Let's see. So we have Drop Dead Fred, which actually has been really expensive for a long time because of it's been out of print.
Yeah.
Beware Children at Play, same thing. Wolfpack, and Sister, which isn't that one of the ones that's on the multi-packs?
Yeah, I have that a solo release of that too. But yeah, it's on.
Is that any good? Because I've never watched it.
It's on that same multi-pack with Night of the
I
Demons.
thought no, you reviewed Sisters, not
Right,
Sister.
right.
The one that you got with Rite Aid or whatever.
Yep.
That's it's on that pack. I like that. It has Jennifer Jason Leigh, Eric Stoltz.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
2K from its 35 millimeter interpolative.
So, do you know what Drop Dead Fred is about?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I just kind of took it as a poor man's Beetlejuice.
No. So Phoebe Cates, her basically her life is falling to shit. Like she breaks up with her boyfriend, fiance, or whatever. She gets fired from her job, and she returns to like her childhood home. Her mom's like a total bitch, and she finds this Jack in the Box that she had when she was a kid. That's like all like duct taped up. And when she opens it, it unleashes her imaginary friend from when she was a kid.
Nice.
Because you'll find out like he was locked. You'll find out why, but he was locked in there at some point when she was a kid, and he basically comes back to help her deal with her life that's falling apart. But because she's an adult now, nobody fucking believes her so they all think she's going insane.
Yeah.
So she has like this wacky, imaginary friend that's getting her in all this trouble, but nobody believes her because she's an adult. So everybody thinks that she's like responsible for all the shit that's going on.
Right.
It's fun. It's a wacky movie. There's some cool like imagery. Like there's a scene where she kind of like goes into her like imaginary world and it's really dark and some creep kind of shit in there.
Huh.
It's like I said, it's like a dark family film.
Has some horror elements to it.
I always loved it. Yeah, I mean it's way more comedy fantasy than, but like I said, there's like dark elements to it.
Yeah.
And Carrie Fisher is like her friend, is one of her best friend in the movie, and she has a decent enough role.
Tell you, Vinegar Syndrome, man, they're just not letting up. They're kicking ass. We'll see. They've been releasing all kinds of really good stuff, so some of their titles have really surprised me.
Have you seen Ebola Syndrome?
I have it. I've never seen it though. I don't have the Vinegar Syndrome. I found it. Found it at a thrift store years ago. Never watched it. Why? Is it fucked up?
It's wild. Yeah.
Yeah. I found that at a thrift store that I still go to, and I found the same thing. There was a whole bunch of Asian films there. I got a bunch of martial arts, and I got Ebola Syndrome and The Untold Story 2.
Okay.
Part 2.
Yep.
Both were Asian films. So, hey, Patrick.
Joe.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jay. I thought you were done again.
No, I'm done.
Joe, what I wanted to tell you earlier, I really hope that you do watch 13 Fanboy very soon. Because even though it's about people from the Friday the 13th franchise, and it's kind of a love letter to Friday the 13th, there is something very Screamish about the movie.
Really?
It's a very meta film, but also there's just a lot of similarities between it and Scream. And when you watch them, you'll pick up on them right away. They just did a really good job, I think.
I definitely want to see it.
I mean, it's got some issues, it's not a perfect film. But there was nothing that it was bad that was like I couldn't overlook,
Yeah.
Except like one thing that I personally didn't like. And I talk about it at the end of the video because I don't put any spoilers until the ad. I said because I wanted to talk about certain things, I put a spoiler warning. Then I talked about spoilers at the very end of my review. So,
do you know who's putting this out?
Well, what else?
What?
13 Fanboy.
What? Oh, I don't know. I don't know who made the DVDs that's out now. I think they were just on done on whatever.
Right, but it's getting an official release
Uh
on March the 8th.
Yeah,
And
I
guess
saw
who's
that.
releasing it?
Mill Creek.
Yep, Mill Creek.
yes.
Motherfucker.
Well, I know that they did the ones, the Kickstarter ones, and you can find those, around or whatever. So,
Yeah, those are the
Yeah.
ones that are out right there, right now.
Because I know Joe and I know myself, and neither one of us will watch it until we own it.
Yeah.
And it's got a lot of the people from Womp Stomp Films worked on it too.
Really?
Andrew Lady's in it. Andrew Lady's in it. He's one of the main characters. Vincent DeSanti plays himself in the movie, but he plays like an asshole version of himself. Like he's a dick.
I wouldn't be shocked if when it comes out from Mill Creek, if like my better Walmart stores get a copy. Like lots of times they get Mill Creek titles like that, and the one that has a lot of stock. I'm saying the one that I have to go to sometimes because my other one doesn't have stuff. So yeah, hopefully maybe when it comes out they'll have it, then I can get it there. If not, I'll just order it, I guess.
Yeah. Our Walmart still gets a ton of movie stock now, but they don't ever seem to get it like on time.
A couple of mine do. Like I said, I have to go different. I mean, my closest Walmart usually doesn't get much, or like you just said, they get stuff late. Like they don't have stuff out on opening day for some reason.
Yep.
Right.
Day.
Or if they do, it'll be like
they didn't have Halloween
afternoon.
Kills. They didn't have Halloween Kills out that day it was released. They didn't have Ghostbusters out the other day when it was released. So I had to go to different Walmart.
Well, Halloween Kills came out on a Tuesday, right? And I didn't go pick it up till Friday or Saturday.
Yeah.
Because I had to wait for payday, right? Well, he told me they just put them out that day. I was like, came out like 5 days ago.
Wow. Mill Creek's been releasing a lot of indie films, but they usually release them under the ITN label.
Oh, is that a Mill Creek label? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
They've had some good movies though, the ITN stuff.
Some
good ones.
A couple good ones.
They've had some crap. They've had some real crap, but they've had some
crap.
Ones.
Yeah, they've had some crap.
They've had a lot of crap. In fact, isn't that Leprechaun's Game and fucking those Tooth Fairy movies and shit on ITN?
Yep.
Yeah. I still can't believe they made a sequel to Leprechaun's Game.
Oh my god. Did I ever tell you I got that?
Yeah, did you watch it yet?
Nope.
So I will say, I don't even know how to word this. The reason why those types of movies sell is because they sell them for cheap enough at Walmart. And anytime I've been at Walmart and I see people buying them, it's the same type of people that seem to be buying those movies that enjoy them. Like,
and they also they put them out around the same time that a similar bigger movie is coming out.
Yes.
And they make the cover just close enough to where you think it might be part of it if you don't know better.
All right, Joe's got to finish because I want to be offended. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, there's like one of my Walmarts is in a kind of a bad section.
Okay.
And I noticed that the people who live in that area tend to go crazy for those. Like those where I always see people buying like the Leprechaun Game and like the Humpty Dumpty one, like all like
hey, fuck you. Humpty Dumpty is a good movie.
But I can't this store was right near my old office, my old work.
Yeah.
So I would be in there like almost every day because I'm picking up stuff for work or whatever. And
right.
I would hear people in there like the regulars like talking about, and they'd pick these same movies up all the time. And they would like look forward to like these kind of cheapo, like knockoff horror movies. And I feel like it basically definitely has like a group of people that like those sort of movies. They're making money with them somehow.
Yeah.
It definitely appeals to certain fans. So it works. I guess that's why they're going to keep making them,
Hey, they're still putting out horror movies, and some of them aren't half bad.
I like movies. I like bad movies that I can laugh at as much as the next person.
Yeah.
But when some shit is just so bad, you're like just like so bored and can't,
The lady I got Leprechaun's Game from didn't even watch it. She didn't even open it.
Well, but that one, for example, like I was at Walmart probably like I don't know, maybe it was before Christmas. Obviously, I was at this Walmart and there was this girl in there who was talking about Leprechaun's game because they had it, and she was talking about how much she liked it with her boyfriend.
What?
And there was another movie, I can't remember which one it was. It wasn't the Humpty Dumpty one, but it was another movie like one of those kind of same type of covers. I think it had a clown on it. It was one with the clown, whatever that one was.
Mm-hmm.
Remember there was a clown one? It was like it had something to do with a birthday party and a clown. But
Bloody Birthday?
Bloody Birthday, not the old one. But
okay.
She was talking about how excited she was to see that because of how much she liked the Leprechaun game. And I remember I was like literally standing there trying not to laugh out loud because I was just thinking about the conversations we had about it and stuff. And her and her boyfriend are sitting there talking about this movie like they were so excited for it. I'm like, what? I mean, I guess stuff like that appeals to different people, but it's just funny to hear people's conversation in public sometimes, you know?
You don't expect people to like that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
I mean, we do because we're glutton for punishment sometimes, and
Yeah, but even Leprechaun's game was bad. I couldn't even. It was just bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even funny bad. It's just bad.
That's what I'm saying. It's funny because a movie like that is getting a sequel, and then these other movies that
I know.
It's funny.
Humpty Dumpty was actually really good. I did enjoy that one, and I had it in my hand the other day, but I didn't feel like paying $9 for it. I figured that the lady that I get the movies from, if I ever do go back, she'll probably have it in there for a couple bucks.
Yeah.
So, because she buys the movies.
I know this sounds weird, but do you remember the plot to Crocodile Dundee 3?
I didn't know there was a Crocodile Dundee 3.
You never seen Crocodile Dundee 3? Oh, it's a funny movie.
I saw the first one in the movie theaters. I watched the second one when it came out on tape, and after that, I didn't even know they had a third one.
So in part 3, his wife, the blonde chick, she is investigating as a journalist this movie studio that keeps putting out sequels to movies that bomb.
Okay.
And it's like action movies, and the first one was shit and it bombed. The second was shit and it bombed. But they keep making more in this franchise. She's like, why are you throwing? And they were talking about how there can be more money to be made with bad movies than with good movies. But also what it was also a front for a drug running.
Really?
Huh. But I was just, every time I see movies like that, and then you see that they're coming out with the sequel of it, it reminds me of that. Or the producers. You could make more money with a flop than with a hit.
When I saw Leprechaun's game and that stack of movies that I got from her, I was just like, oh boy, here we go. But it was part of the lot, so I was just like, the hell with it. I didn't care. Oh, shit. Snowboarding.
Have you guys seen Black Friday?
No, but I tell you what, your top 5 really had me wanting to see that, because I've heard nothing but negative things about it.
I mean, I'm not surprised because of how people are, but
yeah, but I mean, it's just like that was one that I've been kind of looking forward to as well, and to hear that it was, that it was shit, even though, look, I know who I'm dealing with, so
this is a movie that you'll like. I'd be shocked if you didn't like it.
But and I'm going to be honest, and I'm not going to say who it was, but one of the people I heard from it is a person whose opinion I really respect.
Mm-hmm.
And he said it was total garbage. And I was like, what the fuck, man? Kind of broke my heart a little bit.
I just
see
thought
what
it was
Ben
fun.
just said? You can write off your vacation as a business expense if you shoot a movie there.
Like I said, I mean, it's just a fun movie. It meant to entertain,
Yeah. And like I said, most people's opinions, whatever. You know how it is with all that kind of stuff. But this was actually a person that I respect. And I was like, huh.
Well, for me, I'm big on settings. Like I like
Especially
unique
when it's
settings.
mine.
And
Me too.
You have this movie. I mean, the entirety of the film takes place in a toy store on Black Friday.
Okay,
I mean,
yeah, that sounds like me.
It's like basically watching a horror movie at Toys R Us because it was
Nice.
filmed, like I said, in my local Babies R Us, where I literally bought stuff when my son was born. Like it was filmed in that Babies R Us, which is just an empty building now because the Babies R Us is closed, and they just made it into a toy store instead for the movie. And the whole movie
I heard
takes
that
place
some
inside
Toys
there.
R Us's are coming back.
Yes, they are.
So yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's just that fun setting, and it's a good movie to watch. I'm probably going to watch and review it for the 12 days, like I said in my video.
That's what made me want to get it.
Yeah,
You know me, dude. I'm a sucker for Christmas horror. I'm a sucker for it.
It's like an hour and 20 minutes. It flies by. You got Devin Sawa, which is cool, because of Child's Play now. The Chucky
and the Fanatic.
Yep, and then obviously,
is it really a Christmas horror if it's Black Friday?
Well,
yeah,
they're all decorated in Christmas Santa hats, and it's decorated for Christmas, and the Christmas shopping season begins.
Black Friday is like a holiday of its own.
It definitely is now. Never used to be that way, but things have changed.
It's just my type of movie. Like when I don't feel like going in too deep into something, it's just
I
put it on. It flew by. It was, like I said, it was fast paced. It kind of gets going right away, and I really like the setting. Like I said, it's cool seeing the different characters. There's like the asshole characters and the characters you like, and the characters you want to see die, and the characters you want to see live. It's one of those. It's like they're not zombies, but it's like this parasite. These like the shoppers get infested with like this parasite, and
really.
So it's basically like The Walking Dead inside of a toy store.
It kind of sounds like, from what you're describing, a little bit like Cooties, and I fucking loved Cooties.
It has that same vibe, actually.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but I've been watching a lot of the, a lot more lately of the Office, and Rainn Wilson. He's funny as hell. I mean, he's just like, I think he's hysterically funny. I never liked him before, but I will say he's a pretty talented dude. And now you don't see him on shit anymore. Hardly. Did you ever watch The Boy, Joe?
I haven't yet, no.
Such a good.
Well, I was going to say which one, but I haven't watched either of them. You were talking about the one with Rainn Wilson, right?
Yeah, the one with Rainn Wilson. I wouldn't be surprised, maybe wrong, as I normally am, but I wouldn't be surprised if the word masterpiece is used for that.
I got to watch it.
It's really good. It's a very moody piece. That's why I think you'll really dig it. Because I watched that on Chiller when it first came out. And I was really, really impressed.
I remember seeing the previews for it on Chiller at the time and thinking it looked really good and I wanted to see it. And then, you know how it is. I never ended up watching it. I got it from Scream Factory from Hamilton Book when they had it for $4.99 or whatever. Blu-ray. I just haven't watched it.
Yeah, because that one was going out of print too.
Yep. I mean, I can imagine, Ben, that would happen. I don't really bash stuff in my reviews, as you probably know. I don't really say too many negatives about things. I usually just point out the positive, but that's the tendency of what people tend to do. Even with other reviews in general, I see people shitting on stuff or going way too far with things. Like, I'll say it again, like I mentioned, and every other time I talk about it, like Halloween Kills. It's just still gripes me when people complain about the things they complain about. I have no problem with people not liking it. That's fine. It's an opinion thing, but to say, it's because of the dialogue or because it has no story or because of the characters make stupid decisions, that shit just,
You're watching a slasher movie. What the hell did you expect? Yeah. What'd you expect?
I feel like people go way too far. People always look for the negativity.
Have you ever?
With that, there was a really good story. There was good dialogue, and there was a lot of meaning behind it.
Yeah,
To say that,
I agree.
to say that though, like, oh, I don't like
Yeah,
the
it
character-
happens. It happens to me.
the cat, you know, to say that the characters make dumb decisions and have bad dialogue. Like, are you serious?
Do you
It happens to me, Ben, but you've watched my reviews and you know that I do bash shit, and I don't mind bashing shit. If shit is shit, I will call it shit. I don't care how much it costs.
if I get pissed off that I've wasted my time watching a movie, then I tend to tear it up a little bit. But generally, I try to find the positive in every movie. But I was just going to ask you, I don't know how much you spend on Instagram, Joe. Do you spend a lot of time on there?
Not really. I might sign on once every couple of days.
Because Ben's actually on there quite a bit with stuff that he puts on there, and he'll write a synopsis and then give like a short review at the bottom. And he gives movies a break like us. I mean, for the most part. I just feel like some of the people who constantly shit on movies don't even really care for horror all that much. I don't know. Just an impression I got.
Thanks, Jay.
Not you. At least when you shit on
bet-
something, at least when you shit on something, you back it up with
I give a reason.
justifiable, in my opinion, justifiable reasoning. And not everybody's like that. I think a lot of people just do it just to get views, you know?
Yeah.
I agree with that too. It's like, I don't know.
If you really don't like it and you can, you know, put up justifiable things, okay, then it just wasn't for you. But if you're just, I
like in the case of Halloween Kills, I'd rather have somebody come out and say, I just didn't enjoy it. I just didn't enjoy it as much as some of the others. But
right.
But to come on and say, oh, it's shit because it has bad dialogue and no story and the characters make dumb decisions is absolutely
worst movie ever made.
Because you're saying that one's shit, but you love fucking Halloween 6 or Halloween 4 or whatever
Right.
that has the same
Or Resurrection.
the same flaws that we love. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yep.
We're not saying they're not there, but like people are like, oh, there's a lynch mob in Halloween Kills. Okay, well, there's one in part 2 and there's one in part 4, and you love them, so shut the fuck up about it.
Yeah.
I mean,
did you not watch the movie, or you know?
It's just
exactly.
Like,
I'm with you.
Don't give that as a reason because that's a poor excuse. I'd rather just
Yeah.
have you say, I like others better because this one didn't entertain me as much. That's more logical to me than saying something that exists in the other ones that you're claiming that you love.
Plus, I don't like to turn off people to movies in general. I'd rather give my opinions on it and then let them watch it. If they don't like it, they don't like it.
Exactly.
You know?
Almost every time I've ever bashed a movie on a review, you've heard me say at the end of the review, still go watch it for yourself. Find out for yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
You're right.
It's very rare that I've said, don't waste your time on this movie. I think I've said it twice. And I think one of those times was Leprechaun's Game.
Yeah.
Yeah, Patrick, I actually watched it again today with my wife because she hadn't seen it yet.
I still gotta watch your video, Joe. The director, one of the directors of Blood Moon River, saw my review.
Really?
I did for
Yeah.
this week.
He commented on mine too.
Yeah, and he asked me, because I said in my review, I said I think some of the issues this film has could be contributed to the fact that it has three directors, three different visions, you know. And then he explained why they did that. It was because of those cameras inside the camera shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They were each directing one camera, you know,
Right.
which is fine. And then I asked him, I say, hey, if you don't mind me asking, because you've seen the movie, right, Jay? You've seen the movie. You reviewed it,
I reviewed
right?
it.
Yeah. I mean,
I didn't mind
I
it.
asked him, I said, why did you take the movie from what it was and do that twist at the end? You know what I'm talking about if you've seen the movie.
Now, see, it's been a while, so I can't remember, but.
Okay, well, it's a straight up creature feature for the most of the movie, right?
Okay.
It's a found footage creature feature where you never really see the full creature. You just see an arm or you see this or that real quick.
Okay.
You know, you see the body getting dragged backwards through the woods, you know, whatever, you know.
Right.
And I was really starting, even though it was found footage, I was really starting to enjoy that. It scared my 6-year-old, just the the growling and the noises scared her when she was in here. Like, you know, I was really, really enjoying it. Incredible Bulk, yes, Incredible Bulk was one of those that I said don't waste your time. I think I may have still said go and see it yourself, but I wouldn't. But but I asked him, I said, why did you guys do that twist where you go from being a creature feature to something, you know?
Yeah.
And what he told me was, he said that they wanted to be able to do a sequel.
Okay.
And then he told me, ironically enough, the sequel is a straight up creature feature. They wanted to do a sequel, and also he thought that what I said in my review was, I was really enjoying the creature feature aspect, and I was looking forward to a big reveal of this creature at the end of the movie. You know, kind of like how you finally see Jaws at the, and we didn't get that. We didn't get that, and
didn't have the money.
And right, and he said he didn't have the money, and I was like,
I was pretty much had that figure. I remember now.
That sucks.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
And somebody else said something, and I can't remember. It was on a video the other day about how, you know, judging movies unfairly because people put their hearts into it. They put, you know, you don't see what goes into a film. You don't see what it takes in order to make it. Now, judging a film on its own basis, that's one thing. But when you're judging, I can't remember who I was talking to, but when you're judging independent cinema, you have to judge it on a curve. You cannot judge it the same way you judge. Yeah, you can't judge it the same way you judge a multi-million-dollar film. It doesn't work.
Working with what they got, you know.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Like, even with independent films, bad writing is still bad writing.
Yes.
If it's a crappy story, it's a crappy story.
Right.
If you can't hold your camera steady, there's a problem. You know, those kind of things are just like, and that's like in that video, when I did that video, I faced it towards the DVDs case on the shelf, and I was shaking it like I even joked to it. I was like, shaky cam, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, you did.
There, you know, there's just some things that
there's no excuse for.
There's no excuse for. I mean,
right.
I don't have no budget for when I did my couple little short films. So I had Dave help me with some fucking digital effects, you know?
Yeah.
To make blood. I didn't know, you know, whatever. Just like there's some things you can do, some things you can't do, but like acting is one of those things that's subjective when it comes to independent films.
Yeah, I mean,
because sometimes a lot of these guys they may be able to hire one or two actors, but mostly they're getting actors from like local acting things.
Yep.
Or they're just getting their friends to help them.
Yep.
You know, and so you got to kind of give that a little more leeway. Now, if somebody is just absolutely like atrocious, but everybody else is good, then you're like, yeah, that kind of sucked, you know.
Or if you have somebody like, and I hate to say it, name names, but Dustin Ferguson, you know.
Oh God.
Who
that guy
has the capability of making good films, but just doesn't.
Yeah.
And I haven't hated everything he's done. But some of his movies are really rough to watch.
Like Dave didn't like Night Hell, right?
Right.
I liked Night Hell. I thought for $1,000 budget, they did an amazing job.
Absolutely.
For $1,000. Who can make a movie like that for $1,000 and just say, you know? But Dustin Ferguson, that guy's just a fucking hack.
He is a hack. I agree with that.
And now every time I put up anything or mention him in a review, I'll get like 15 thumbs downs on it because I know he's got this army of little butt buddies that watch for his fucking shit and then put things on it.
I still don't judge all of his movies like that. I'm waiting for him to prove me wrong. And I haven't hated all of his movies. Just most of them.
I enjoyed Ebola Rex. But even that has it's way too long, and you know. But I enjoyed parts of Ebola Rex.
Ebola Rex is like really Apex short too. That's the thing.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, like Apex, they spend all this time on these other characters that didn't have anything really to do with the fucking story.
Yeah.
Apex Predator was just fucking garbage.
Yeah.
I mean, I could make a better shark movie in a swimming pool with fucking Patrick's little plastic shark thing he has on his video.
But it just goes to show you, like, I know you said you didn't mind it, but Ebola Rex is only like an hour long. And you said it's too long.
Yeah. Yeah, it is way too long. It feels like it anyway.
It literally is an hour and 12 minutes, and that's with the credits, and like the credits have like extra shit that the movie ends like at 59 minutes into the film.
Yeah.
I remember watching it and thinking it didn't even make an hour. So it just goes to show you.
And I mean, I'm sure there is a place for that, and there are people that I guess like that kind of stuff. I don't know. It just has to have a little something more than that for me.
And like, what's Cicada? I hated Cicada. That was just such crap to me.
I've liked it.
It was something that could have been so much better than what it was.
Yeah.
You know.
Like I
think
said,
that
I'm just
bothers me
hoping
more
that
than
he'll
people
eventually
just
prove me
potential.
wrong. I want him to prove me
I don't
wrong
think
that
so.
that
I'm
he's
just waiting for
capable-
Ouija Shark 2.
What's that?
So I'm just waiting for Ouija Shark 2. I don't think he'll ever prove you wrong.
Yeah.
So I got a question for you guys.
Okay.
Obviously, this is like the age of like the requel, like the reboot sequel. So we've had, The Town That Dread Sundown, Halloween 2018, Scream, Ghostbusters Afterlife. What movie would you want to see next as a requel? Obviously, we're getting the Texas Chainsaw Massacre as another one.
It's an interesting question.
I was thinking about it too. This is actually not a new trend if you think about it. In a weird way, because I said something earlier to Eric, or not to Eric, but I said, well, kind of Eric, you said something, I said something back on Twitter that I hate when they recast iconic characters.
Yeah.
And then after that, I started thinking about that. Well, like James Bond, for example, iconic character has been recast. But James Bond, when in those stories, you want him to be like a certain age, so you got to have somebody, new doing it. And you just got used to different people playing Bond. But even though I really like Solo the movie, I wish they would have had Harrison Ford. If they can do what they're doing with Luke Skywalker, which is why you need to see the new Book of Boba Fett, if they can do what they're doing with Luke Skywalker and actually having Mark Hamill still playing him and putting the de-aging thing on and all, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, but maybe he doesn't want to do that.
They could have done it with Harrison Ford, or I would have been very happy with a Solo movie set after the trilogy, in between, the new trilogy and the original trilogy.
Yeah, but I'm saying maybe he doesn't want to do that.
Well, I'm
maybe
just
Harrison
saying,
Ford doesn't want to.
I understand that, but I'm saying in that case, maybe Solo should never have been made. Even though I did really enjoy the movie, it is still considered the one Star Wars film nobody asked for. But you can recast Michael Myers because it's a guy in a mask. You can recast Jason because it's a guy in a mask. You can recast Leatherface because it's a guy in a mask. But I don't think, because they tried and it really didn't work. I think that if they're going to do another Nightmare on Elm Street film, they need to have it be Robert Englund. Even if they have somebody else doing the body work of it, he should be doing the voice, stuff like that. But with all of these, like you said, Joe, these requels, how far do you go? How much do you?
Well, I know you guys haven't seen it yet, so that's why I kind of like what Scream did. Like, Scream didn't do like the Halloween 2018 thing, and it wasn't a direct sequel to the original Scream. It still follows Scream 4, but it still a nice reboot to the franchise because now it can start like a whole new trilogy or whatever if they want. I kind of like that.
Right.
Same way, like, you know, Ghostbusters Afterlife follows Ghostbusters 2. The only one it skips is the remake with the all-woman
See,
cast.
I want to know how that's going to be nostalgic. You said it's very nostalgic and it's good, but
Yeah,
I don't see how it can be if the original guys aren't in it.
Who said they're not?
But
Like, I know that they have cameos, but I mean, like, really in it? Are they like all the way? Is it about them, or is it
If
about
you're-
Egon's grandkids?
If
You know,
I don't want to spoil it, I'm just
Right.
saying they I don't think they could have done it better with what they have now. With the cast being old, with Harold Ramis being dead, they somehow managed to capture nostalgia but create a whole new path forward if they choose.
right?
And they're not it's not I like that it was Jason Reitman that directed it, since, you know, his father did the first two.
yeah,
So he shows respect to the original two films with this one, where it's not just like, you know, a new era, so here's some new characters for you with some other cool things
Right.
thrown in. Like he really paid attention to the details. And based on the trailer, the marketing for the movie sucked. I mean, the marketing campaign just failed, I think.
Yeah,
because
the more of the trailers I saw, the less I wanted to see it in theaters.
when I put it on the other night, when I watched it for the first time, like the opening fucking scene, I was like, holy shit, here we go. Like, it starts out and I was like, damn, this is going to be good. And it did not let me down. And then, I mean, the whole movie is good, but the fucking ending is just incredible.
what for Ghostbusters?
And,
Yeah. And if you guys watch it, there's a mid-credit scene and there's an end-credit scene. So make sure you watch all the way through the end credits.
and something I can't seem to get past is that they took it out of New York City.
You gotta, like I said, just watch the
And
movie.
I just, for me, it's like Ghostbusters is synonymous with New York. It's like taking Ninja Turtles out of New York.
But
it'd just be weird.
There's a reason and something else. So, like I said, I don't want to spoil it. I'm just, again, I think they handle it well.
I have to watch it.
DVD or whatever.
It is out on. That's how you think I watched it.
It's actually out.
Yeah, I got the Blu-ray.
I haven't gone to the store or nothing, so I don't know.
That's you know me. I don't watch it unless I own something. I guess it just came out this week on
Yeah, but
Tuesday.
you're always getting like advanced copy screeners and shit. So
Well, that's usually before it's in theaters. Yeah. No, I got the Blu-ray on Tuesday.
Yeah, I got to see Ghostbusters because you really liked it, Joe, and I got to watch I got to watch the first two again because it's been a while. But from what you said, I definitely need to watch the first two.
Especially the first one. I will say, so there.
I'm not a great big fan of the second one anyway. I mean, I do
Really?
like the first one
I love
quite a bit
I love
for
the second one.
nostalgic versions.
There are a
but-
couple things in the second one that is cool in this one, but you could get away with watching the first one and then watching this one if you wanted.
Yeah, I'll watch both of them though. I mean, I don't have a problem with that.
But I do recommend definitely watching at least the first one again before watching.
Yeah.
I never understood why people didn't like the second one. I love the second one. I thought it was great.
Hey,
Great
Larry.
follow-up.
Hey, Larry. Hey, Bones.
Yeah, I thought so too, Brad. I've always liked that one. But I don't know. This one fucking blew me away. And
Yeah.
I think
It's the third one, man. Hate all female one that sucked.
well, that was that's the remake. Yeah, they just completely ignore that one, and they make there's a blatant line in this movie that shows that they're ignoring it completely, which is cool because it's a nice like fuck you to that movie.
Yeah, in fact, some of the people that were in that other movies talked about that line and how disrespectful it was that they put that there.
Yeah,
I
I'm
was
glad
like,
they put it
fuck
in there.
you all. Your whole movie was disrespectful to the fucking franchise.
It's pretty cool that they do that.
So I got to get that in the Forever Purge. Watch them
I
too.
really liked that movie. That movie was really good.
Well, I've really liked all of them, so I didn't really expect to not enjoy the new one.
It's way better than 4 though was.
See, I really liked 4. I thought 4 was
This
fantastic.
was way better.
Yeah.
4 was too heavy with the message. This one,
Yeah, but I liked it though. I mean,
I did
could,
too. I did too. Except I don't like the fact. I don't know if I like the fact that the bad guy at the beginning is the good guy at the end. What the fuck? You know?
well, they do have movies about redemption.
Yeah, but it doesn't usually take place over one night.
Wow.
But whatever, Especially when he really didn't change that much. If you really think about it.
Well,
Oh.
she's engaged.
Yeah, that's cool, Ben. Yeah, I bought it on Blu-ray the other night. Watched it on Wednesday, I think, and then I watched it again today with my wife. So, and I'll probably watch it again soon with my son too, because he hasn't watched it yet.
The Divine Fury. Isn't that the one that I reviewed? Or what's in the bag, Jay? I wonder if I reviewed that for that. Never find shit in this fucking thing. It's not in there. It's not in there. It's got to be in here. Yep. There we go.
That set looks nice though, Mr. Bones.
What's that?
If I had the money, I would have gotten that set. Have you seen that set yet, Jason? The Ghostbusters set that comes in the trap?
No, I have seen just the Blu-ray disc that has all 3 of them on there.
Movie John did a video showing it,
Okay,
and I think maybe Phil's Creepy Videos did a video showing it.
of course.
It's like, it comes in like this big box. It's made to look like the Ghostbusters trap, and
Right.
it literally opens the way the Ghostbusters trap does, and then inside it has Ghostbusters 1, 2, and the new one on 4K Blu-ray combo packs. Also has like a booklet, and then when you pull the discs out, it literally lights up. The box.
Really?
Yeah, it's really.
How much
nice.
is it?
$100 and something, I think.
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, if I had the money though, man.
No, I wouldn't.
If I didn't already have the first 2 movies on Blu-ray before I bought this one, and if I had the money, then I probably just would have gotten the set. But I already have 1 and 2 on Blu-ray, and then obviously I just bought the new one. So
Trying to see if I reviewed that, Larry, because I think I did. The Divine Fury. Was that an Asian film? And I could barely even read my damn handwriting here. Yeah, boy.
what happens as you get old?
You know what? This is kind of scary. Season 2 started with the Jesus Christ, has COVID been around this long now? What the fuck, guys?
I know it's 2022, but 2020 is when it really hit.
Let's see.
Yeah, it's a Korean film, they said.
I think that's the one I reviewed. I remember really liking it. And I think they might have had that at the Dollar Tree not that long ago. But I already had it. Oh.
Nothing like a good old fashioned face stomping.
Uh-oh. What are you watching, 2018?
The Windmill.
Drive. That's a good face stomping.
Great movie.
Have you seen The Windmill yet, Joe?
No.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
Oh, you need to see that, dude.
Hell yeah. It's good.
Dutch supernatural slashers at its finest.
Well, yeah, I go for that.
Hey, Greg.
Why do you think I threw the word Dutch in there?
Yeah, because I had to think of Dick Moss there.
Translated
you,
to more dick.
Fuck you, Joe. I know I reviewed it. I know I reviewed it for this, but I cannot fucking find it.
Yeah, the weapon he uses is super dope. You know, that's actually one of my earlier reviews was the windmill.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. I think Joe would dig it. Seems like something
He's a
he.
slasher guy, he'll dig it.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm very
Yeah, I don't know
confused.
why people were shitting on the Purge movie. Forever Purge, that movie's badass.
Dude, people shit on everything.
Exactly.
I still ask that question, and then I realized to myself, they shit on everything. So why should I even be surprised anymore?
That's the way people are nowadays. It reminds me of that line in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, where Jay's like, "What the fuck is the internet?" And Ben Affleck's character says, "The internet is a place where people come together to share information, and they've decided to use that to shit on movies."
God damn it, I can't find it, and it pisses me off because I know I did. I hate it when I can't find shit.
Right, Craig. Sure.
Mm-mm.
All of the Purge movies are quote unquote woke. That's the entire point of the franchise.
Yes and no.
But they're not woke, but they're politically motivated.
Sure.
And this one just happens to tackle a political issue of immigration. But it's really fucking good. It's done really fucking well. And the message doesn't interfere with the story at all. In fact, it helps the story to coalesce to show how people can live together that are different.
Ah, fuck it. I can't find it. Piss on it. Oh, I've seen it, Larry. I know I reviewed it. I just can't find it. I never made a negative comment on any film.
Yeah. I call
Film
bullshit.
about dog shit or... Oh, that's cool. She won YouTuber of the Month. That's awesome.
I didn't even know that was still going on. Who's doing that? Because I never see videos for it.
I don't see videos for it anymore either. All right, I'm gonna find this.
They did that. The Andrew did it that one year. I don't know who's done it after that. Yeah, I love the Purge movies. I like every single one of them.
Me
the
too.
Fourth one, them right now, I'd probably rate number 4 as my least favorite, but I need to rewatch them. All of them
Really?
again, and I'm going to soon. Right now, like I said, if I watch them right now, the one that I watched
right now,
most
goddammit.
is the one I've watched the most is part 3. I've watched that like 4 times. I've watched part 1
That's
twice.
election day, right?
And the
Yeah.
The others I've only watched part 1 time each. Yeah.
All right, this is just because I know I reviewed the fucking thing.
I haven't seen his videos lately. I thought I watched all his videos, but I don't remember that. But okay.
Who's that?
Art of Horror.
Oh,
That dude's fucking talented. The drawings he does while he does his reviews. But yeah, but all the Purge movies are political. If you watch them, every single one of them has a political message behind it.
well, it's because it's conceived from a political view.
Yeah, it's a political standpoint video.
Yeah. Have you seen any of those, Joe?
I've only watched the first.
Did you like it?
Oh,
all right.
Dude, no, that's what everybody says about the first one. Then they see the second one, they're like, "Oh my god!"
I like the first one a lot.
I have the second one too. The third one was filmed not far from me, and then from there I lose track. So.
The fourth one's a prequel, and then the fifth one follows the third one.
I haven't, Larry. It hasn't gotten picked yet.
What is up with the fourth movie being the prequels and franchises?
I haven't watched the Night of the Animated Dead yet. I'm waiting for it to get picked.
But they're all damn good. And I mean,
yeah.
Personally, I wish The Purge was something that was real. But hey, that's just me.
I'm sure you do.
Well, it's because the reason they did that, Bones, is because the first one didn't have exactly the biggest budget. And so that they made it a home invasion film, could keep the scale small. But then it did so well that all of a sudden they had this big budget on their hands. And they're like, okay, let's expand this motherfucker.
I'll be right back.
There's 5 Purge movies, dear. And there's one series of, I think, how many? 2 or 3 seasons on TV? A series? Yeah, it's like in Tremors, number 4 is the prequel.
Yep.
There's a couple others. When we did Tremors, we talked about there were prequels on number 4. I can't remember which ones though right now. Yes, dear. I asked you to watch it with me the other day, and you said you didn't want to because you were being a pussy. It's 2 seasons, Ben? No, I haven't watched it yet. I got them all recorded on my Hulu, and then I never got around to watching them. I meant to, though. I really did mean to. I just haven't got around to it. Does it fall? Where does it fall within the movies? Or does it not at all? Excuse me. I'm not a pussy. I eat pussy. I like pussy. I lick pussy.
What time you got back on camera? Fuck
you're
not.
an Asian guy in a Dutch horror film. You know you're dead.
About time you got back on camera.
Sorry, I forgot that it was off.
Mm-hmm. I like the show too, Ben. I didn't see the second season, but I like the first season.
He's got a couple different red masks that he goes back and forth with sometimes. He's worn his red ones in some newer videos too.
It's not that, Craig. It's just Brad actually lets him get a word in now.
Fuck you. He was nervous when he first started. He was nervous. And I'm, sometimes I just have to help him fill in the blanks a little bit.
Yeah.
But he's got his own thing.
Sometimes you have to just dominate. That's all.
Fuck you, motherfucker. Can't help it that I got the most to say.
Damn.
The first season is after the first movie. Season 2 is like right after. Really? So the 2 seasons aren't like back to back. That's interesting. So the second season is actually a prequel to the first season. I've been meaning to watch them. I just haven't got around to it yet.
Yeah, I saw the first
Every
season is actually pretty good.
Every time, like, there's always seems to be like shows that are 1 hour long type dramas or shows that I'm into watching. And then, like, I have to watch Sopranos like every time I end it. I started at the beginning. And then I watch Sons of Anarchy over and over again sometimes. And, you know, I just got to kind of fit them all in. But, like, the 2 I watched lately that I was really into were Squid Game, which was good. But even more than that one, Alice in Borderland.
It's amazing.
Oh, and Chucky. Chucky was just fantastic.
Yeah, Chucky was phenomenal. I can't wait till they release that on DVD and Blu-ray.
Definitely my favorite horror show now. Definitely my favorite horror show.
It's yeah. I'd have to say it's one of mine. I do like Ash versus the Evil Dead a lot.
I do too. That one's a lot of fun too.
It's just amazing to me. Maybe it's just because I can't do it. It'd be one talented motherfucker to be able to do that.
Since
Oh,
you're right there, dear, would you mind turning the heater up a little bit?
that probably didn't end good.
What?
Oh, very nice. Watching the qualifying for the women's snowboarding. Wow.
Well, you know what's funny about that, Ben, is there actually is a prequel thing to Train to Busan. It's animated.
Yeah, it's called Train to Seoul or Seoul Station.
Yeah,
Something
Soul
like that.
Station. Was it something station? I can't remember which. But, yeah. And there's also one to Parasite that's animated.
Huh. Does anybody watch Snowpiercer? Because I saw a commercial for it.
The
The other
show or
day.
the movie?
I love the movie. Thought the movie was great. Did you just say that too, Brad?
I own the movie. I've never watched it.
It's good.
Yeah, the
Very
show or the
good.
movie. I've owned the movie. I've never watched it, and I haven't seen the show yet either. But the movie looks like a lot of fun. I just haven't got around to it.
I think you would dig it.
I need to do something like you're doing with the What's in the Bag, Jay, just so I can start watching some of these other different movies I've been picking up.
Do it. Let Chance pick it.
Well, not
I mean,
like
that's
your
what I
idea,
do.
but something
And then I
where
get
I
some
just want,
asshole that says, scrap them and pick another 6. Fucker.
I still think if you roll Freddy versus Jason, you should just scrap them all. It makes sense.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, you kill them all off, you know. Freddy and Jason, they kill them all off, you know.
No, Craig, I didn't.
Soul Station.
But that's kind of what like the B movies, Be Bad, Be Good was for, so I could watch a lot of, you know, different movies. But I can't wait to finish the Psycho franchise because I really want to get onto the Purge franchise.
Yeah.
And Bill and I are gonna do those together.
It
Well,
actually,
with me.
that What's in the Bag, Jay, actually gets me to watch movies that I probably wouldn't normally watch. Jesus Christ.
See, that's the thing is we buy all these horror movies, like you said, these Dollar Tree trips or
Yeah.
just random shit we pick up at secondhand stores or whatever. You know,
Oh my god.
one of these days I'm gonna have to, I need to try and watch some of them, or they're just gonna never be watched. Which is fine by me too, because
I put it in my mind that I have to watch them, even if it's something that gets picked that I'm not necessarily super stoked on watching right now, and I just watch it anyway.
well, like I said before to my wife, that if I could and I had the money, my goal would be to own a physical copy of every movie ever made, because I would rather have it. I'd rather have it and not watch it than want to watch it and not have it.
Yeah. I think that's
So-
Joe and I's problem,
Yeah.
among many.
Really, a Skinamax version of the Joker. Huh?
I mean, that was a big reason why I started Slashback when I did. It gave me a reason to watch different slasher movies in my collection that I'd been wanting to, you know? So it was like,
and that's one of the things I liked about Multi-Pack Mania.
yeah, if we had that
Yeah.
set theme, then I had to find something that fit that theme that I hadn't watched or that I hadn't watched in a long time, at least.
And you fucked me up on that one, Joe.
What?
Because I put off,
I
and
never
I
thought I
still
was going
do
to
it. It's
review
out
a
of instinct
1920s
now.
black and white film.
I put off watching slashers now because I would always save them for Slashback,
Flashback, yeah.
and I'm still fucking doing it.
I do the same thing, you know. I'll have like a certain movie in my collection. I'll go to watch it and I'll be like, yeah, maybe I should save it in case it comes up for Slashback. It's like I'm the one coming up with the damn themes, and it's not even like we're doing it right now, but that's what I do, and then I end up watching something else that wouldn't work for it.
Personally, I think that's something that should be brought back, but that's just me. I
Well,
mean,
this
not
year,
right now.
This
Maybe
year
next
was
year.
the top twos, maybe next
Yeah.
year.
Top two's been a lot of
Unless I
fun.
think they're dumb, then I don't have to own them. Yeah, I noticed that like the first episode though did really well on views, and since then they haven't done as well. But we're also in the
No.
early decades, so I really thought 74 would get a lot more views. But then I saw everybody's videos, and everybody just picked Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I was like,
Everybody,
oh God,
you
guys
mean
are
all
fucking
four of us?
Yeah.
there was more people than that doing them.
I don't think so. Just me,
You two,
you, Joe, and Chili Billy. Oh, and Jennifer. That's 5.
and Nathan did one.
Oh, I must have missed his this
And,
week.
Hey, John.
Hey, John.
Oh, you sheeple in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Who else did one? That was it.
Well, didn't Joe say there was 2 other people doing them?
Yeah, but they didn't do them this week.
First 3 weeks they did. First 4 weeks, I should say. 70, 71, 72, 73. I mean, I can't make it any easier, so people do it.
I thought I
had fun.
I love the comment that. I love the comment that Slim put on my fucking video. He put 1 year, 2 Frankies. I
Yeah.
was like, yep,
Yep.
hell yeah.
You know, that's one I don't believe I've seen from Hammer, the Frankenstein, the Monster from Hell. I have it. Just never watched it. So now I got to watch it.
Good one.
Yeah.
You know who plays the monster in that?
I don't think it's Christopher Lee this time. I think it's somebody different.
It's David Prowse. Darth Vader himself.
I did not tell Brad this. I told Joe this because I was talking to him at the time. My daughter watched last weekend. She watched A Clockwork Orange for the first time.
Nice.
Yeah. And, well, she doesn't like that kind of shit. And I was like, you're not going to like it because I know her and I know the kind of stuff, And she actually kind of liked it. She said she didn't like the way the beginning started out because it was almost like it was too sparse. I said, well, they were trying to establish Alex's character in the beginning, that he was a kind of a shit heel and didn't do what he was supposed to do. But then I started telling her interesting things about the film, like how, and I told her that Dave Prowse, because she loves Star Wars like we do. And I told her that Dave Prowse was the muscle man at the end carrying the guy around, the guy in the wheelchair. and that the home invasion mirrored the Tate murders with Charles Manson. You know what she fucking said to me?
No, I've never heard of him, John.
You know what she said to me, Joe?
What?
What are the Tate murders?
So when I met Malcolm McDowell, he did like a question and answer thing too,
Mhm.
and he talked about Clockwork Orange, obviously, and he talked about Singing in the Rain, how he just started singing it. It wasn't in the script, and they had to get the rights for it after it was in there because Kubrick liked it so much he didn't want to not use it,
Right.
so he had to get the rights to the song after they filmed.
That movie's
Fun
a fucking
fact: Singing in
masterpiece.
the Rain is considered one of the greatest musicals of all time, and it's also one of my favorite movies.
Some things you can never look at the same way after seeing them in a certain way, and Clockwork Orange definitely did that for me for that.
There's your heater.
Thank you. It's
That was
getting cold
definitely
as
one of my
fucking-
favorite.
Huh?
I met a lot of
Getting
cool
cold
celebrities.
too.
But that was one of my favorite meeting Malcolm McDowell.
You need a heater for in here.
Yeah,
There's
that
one
would be
right
so
down the
cool.
It says-
You need it.
I haven't figured. I don't know. Dang it! Don't touch it.
Malcolm
I don't know
McDowell
how to get it to
seems
work,
like a character.
and I tried it once, and all I could smell was leaking gas. So don't touch it.
For multiple reasons. Like I said, the thing with meeting him
Touch
too
your
is
heater.
that was when Bill Paxton had just died.
You going to bed?
Yeah.
When I met Malcolm McDowell, he was literally on his cell phone
Make sure all
Wow,
the food's put away.
while I was next up to meet him, and he's the one who told me Bill Paxton had died. Like he literally was on the phone in shock because he was friends with them, and he literally hung up his phone, apologized to me. He's like, "I'm sorry." He's like, "My good friend Bill Paxton passed away, complications in surgery," and like me and my wife were like, "Holy shit!" Like we literally
Yeah.
found out from him, you know. So he was kind of like shaken up. He kind of composed himself, and he and you know he spent a lot of time with us because you know I think he kind of felt bad. Like we were kind of just standing there, took a lot of pictures. You know, he chatted with us a bunch, and
Yeah.
then we went to his question and answer, and kind of just it was sad at that point because he was kind of just holding it together. You could tell, you know, trying to fulfill his commitment and be up there. But he told some really cool stories, and he was a cool guy.
Yeah.
And when I got him to sign the picture, I got a picture from Clockwork Orange from the sign, and it's the picture of him like stripping the woman in the house, obviously. And,
Oh, nice.
and he has like he has the mask, and he goes, oh yeah, he goes, that's the perfect picture for your wall and everything. He goes, the first thing I noticed was she was a natural redhead.
He's a nut.
He was cool though, because he was like he was exactly how you kind of see him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like how you see him and think. Like he reminded me of how he is like as like Loomis in like Rob Zombie's Halloween, just the way he talks and everything.
Yeah.
Like Malcolm McDowell is exactly who you think he is.
You know, a lot of people have shit to say about him and
Yeah,
Nicolas
John.
Cage and you know, people like that who star in a lot of B movies. But you know what? They're working actors.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it.
Damn, that took a while, Hobbs.
Yeah, John, I love Taxi Driver. Great movie. We loved it, John.
Oh hell yeah! Halloween Kills was a shit. Don't listen to people; they suck.
I was just talking about this a little while ago before you were
People are
here.
assholes.
Yep.
I was saying how much how we love it, and I just don't understand the hate with that.
That was one of my favorite movie going experiences because it got me back out into the theaters and just to see a Halloween
It
movie
replaced
again.
Part 6 as my
so cool.
favorite sequel.
Really?
I mean, yeah. Didn't you
Nice.
watch my ranking?
I did, but I
Yeah,
watched so many videos, dude. You act like I'm supposed to know every single thing you've ever said.
I think
And
you
I
should.
can't. I don't have
That's
I don't have that kind of memory data. That's all.
I
I'm
get
old
you. I don't remember a lot.
I'm an
Sometimes I'm like,
old
wait, did you review that? I can't remember.
motherfucker. What's that?
I can't remember too.
That's one I haven't reviewed yet. I did review Halloween 2018 with Nick back when it first came out on the Blu-ray.
Yes, it does. It's a perfect follow up.
Yeah.
I feel like if people aren't satisfied with that, what will they be satisfied with going forward?
You can't please
Yep.
them. You just can't. Oh, I wanted to tell you guys when I had my stress test today. Of course, I'm wearing my Halloween shirt, right?
Mhm.
And I had to take my jacket off because, getting all the stuff hooked up to me. And the lady in there, I'd say she was probably in her late 50s.
Mhm.
And she was like, "Have you seen the new one?" I didn't know what the hell she was talking about. I just, I kind of had my mind on something else.
Yeah.
And she said, "Halloween." I said, "Oh yeah, I loved it." She said, "Yeah, me too." And then we started talking about Halloween for a while they were setting me up for the stress test.
You should have said Halloween. I've never seen
Nice.
it.
No, but she was like, you could tell she was a horror fan.
Yeah.
We were talking about
Well,
different stuff in the
what's
film.
Halloween? Your shirt. Oh, I bought this at a thrift store.
No, I get that. I get that a lot because, like, when I go out places, I usually have like some kind of movie shirt on or something.
Yeah.
I have a lot of people that say that stuff to me.
For me, it's
I just
usually
thought
a
it was
music
cool
shirt,
because
but
I didn't
can wear
expect
things.
it. I didn't expect it to come from that,
I love that. Yeah.
Plus, it kind of took my mind off of everything.
Yeah. At least I got that over with.
God, no, Craig. Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
man.
John, I'm hoping the Bengals, but I think the Rams.
Bengals.
With every movie opinion, Craig's estimation in my account goes down farther and farther.
Why? What did he say now?
That he likes
He
the
said that he just watched Halloween 6 producer's cut and loved it more than the theatrical version.
Oh my God. Craig, what are we gonna do with you? Fucking runestones. Come on.
Yeah. And the magic tattoo.
And the fucking Dungeons and Dragons and all the Jawa fucking robes that they were wearing. Just come on.
I'm still getting that tattooed on my wrist. Right there.
Thorn?
Yep. Right there.
That might be one tattoo I would get, and it'd probably be cheap too.
Craig,
What do you say now?
if you piss me off, I'm 75% of your subs. All those different accounts.
Oh shit. Crazy trip.
No, is that something new, John?
That's what I was talking about. I was just telling them, John, that you had a video unboxing it, the Ghostbusters.
Is it got that all chick remake in it?
Were you not listening?
No.
Were you not listening to me when I explained it a little? Like,
He's just fucking with John, I think.
No.
I hope he's fucking with John, because did you not listen, motherfucker? I've never seen that set anywhere, so that would be cool. I'll have to watch your video, John.
I think it was an Amazon exclusive or an online exclusive release.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think any stores are carrying it.
That's going to be, well, first of all, it's going to be hard to find. And second of all, it's probably going to be very, very expensive, especially when it goes out of print.
It's a nice set.
Yeah.
There you go, Craig. There's another opinion that just.
Here we go. What do you do now? Oh, no.
He said he
No,
liked
no,
the all
no.
chick Ghostbusters.
I've never seen it, but I have not heard a good thing.
Look, there were a couple parts that I chuckled, but for the most part, it just seemed like something that just wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it's terrible, but I didn't, it's probably something. I do own it because I'm a completist, but I'll probably never watch it again.
Well, see, that's the problem. See, you say that the other day when I was buying Afterlife, I was like, shit, this means I'm going to have to get that remake now. And it just because now I just feel like even though it doesn't have anything to do with this timeline, I just feel like I need it to complete the collection.
Which one?
That's
The
one of those
remake,
franchises that I don't have to have every movie.
well, there's only 4 movies.
It's not a horror franchise that I really, it's not something I'm collecting. It's just another movie.
Okay, again, I'm going to ask you, Joe, because I didn't hear you.
That's true, Danny. The remake. I'm saying the remake is the only one I don't have.
Oh, for the Ghostbusters.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
But now that I have Afterlife, and that's the only one that I need, I feel like I need to get it.
Well, you can do what I did, and I'll keep my eyes open. I bought it from a thrift store for $1.
I
So
always get it at the thrift store. Yeah, I'll end up grabbing it.
I was not going to
seen
pay
it at the
anything
thrift
more than
stores.
that.
I passed it over.
Yeah, I've seen the Blu-ray at thrift stores like multiple times, and I'll just grab it next time I see it. I was never really interested because
Yeah.
I heard it was so bad and it didn't follow the first 2, so I was like, whatever. I can be fine not having it, but I feel like now that I have 3 of the 4, I just need it.
Yeah. Like I said, I'll keep my eyes open for you. Because that's what I did. Because I said to myself I wasn't going to buy it, and then I saw it at the thrift store. I was like, maybe I'll do a ranking someday, and I threw it in the cart and walked up front with it.
When I got Afterlife the other day, Walmart had a 3-pack of 1, 2, and the remake on DVD, and I was like, maybe I'll just get it because I'm not going to be looking for the remake, and I'll just satisfy if I just get it. It's a set that I don't have. But then I realized that it didn't include the extended cut. It only had like the regular cut of the remake. So I was like, all right, I'll just wait because I always see the Blu-ray that has the extended cut and the regular cut.
Yeah.
And again, being a completist, I may as well have both versions, even if I don't like them.
I didn't even know there was an extended cut of the remake.
Yeah, it's on Blu-ray.
I will not have all cuts. I'll take my $1 DVD, and that's fine with me.
Well, don't get me wrong. If I go to the thrift store and they don't have the Blu-ray anymore, they only have the DVD, I'll just buy it for $1 or whatever. But I'm saying I'm not in a rush to get it because if I find the extended cut, I'll just get that and then be done with it.
It's funny because most of the time, if I'm at Walmart and I see something decent or something that I'm not overly thrilled about, and it's in a $5 bin or the $3.74 bin, I'll pick it up. That's been there for I don't know how long, and I just never did pick it up. I just, like I said, I just happened to see it at a thrift store.
I was looking for the Ghostbusters because, like I said, I was at Walmart. I got Afterlife, and then I saw that 3-pack, and then I was like, let me check the 350 bin of the $5 bins, all the different bins that Walmart has to see if they have it. Because I always saw it in those bins. Couldn't find it.
Yeah, I wouldn't even spend $5 for it.
No, exactly.
Fuck that. $2 is about as far as I would go with that if I found it at a thrift store. But it's funny because if I find something cheap enough, I'll upgrade it, like to Blu-ray.
Yeah, same.
Right?
Yeah.
I found Frenzy, which I know I reviewed for What's in the Bag, Jay? And I found the Blu-ray at a Dollar Tree and fucking just passed on it. The movie was so fucking bad, I don't even want it on Blu-ray. If it's a shitty movie, I won't even bother. Yeah.
John, I liked the extended cut, but I can understand why they didn't keep the ending just because of how they're doing the time jump in the next movie. I'm one of those people where I just like more footage, even if an extended cut of a movie slows something down. I want to be able to at least see everything.
Yeah.
Even if it's not the version I watch more than say another, I just like to have all footage available to me.
They could have still kept the footage in. I know that it takes place years later, right? Well, they could have had her walking out of the hospital like they did with the knife and everything. And it just be years later until she found him again.
Yeah, they could have easily just started the next movie with somebody like stopping her as she's walking out of the hospital. Then,
right, exactly.
You know what I mean, they definitely could have retconned that, but I like it. I like it either way. I mean, I'm satisfied. I didn't watch Halloween Kills originally and think, okay, the ending sucks. I thought it worked. Yeah. So I'm good with either one.
Yeah, I liked it, and I still don't think it can be changed or kept on there. I mean, even with how they're going to start the next one, it could still fit. You know,
Oh my god.
and all the extra gore and stuff's just fun.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. And Craig, I got that movie. I think Jason and Joe do too on that version, and I really like that one. The Arrow version of the Mangler. You guys both got that, right?
I only have the DVD. I don't have the Arrow.
No, the Mangler? That's a Scream Factory. Unless I'm thinking of the wrong thing.
There's
The
an
one
Arrow
with
too.
Freddie in it.
Yeah, it's Craig though, so it could be different. Overseas release could be Arrow Mangler.
Oh, okay.
You know, sometimes Arrow has like a UK release and stuff too.
So when they did it for Scream Factory, did they put a uncut on that one?
I'm not sure. I only have.
Actually, I'm gonna go look now.
Yeah, John, I definitely want to get those, especially the first one, because it has the
Oh,
Like extended cut or something.
cut on
like
it.
Yeah, I have that.
that.
I just don't have the Steelbook because both Joe and I got fucked out of that one because they suck.
Well, Craig, there's and also being in another country, you may have gotten the other version. That happens sometimes, but you actually have to choose the extended version on the Blu-ray. And mostly, it's just for the most part, it's just there's a couple extra scenes in the beginning, and then there's extra like gore and stuff in the gore scenes, and then there's a little extra on the end.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole different scene in there that's not in the regular cut too.
Yeah, like I said,
Oh,
there's
that's
a couple
cool, Craig.
extra
Thank you,
scenes
man.
in the beginning.
Yeah, there's definitely some.
And there's an extra scene at the end, but like he said that he didn't see any differences between when he saw it in theaters and on Blu-ray. So I'm not sure if he got. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes in different countries they get a different cut.
Well, also, if you see it in the theaters and you only see it once, you might not remember what you know what I mean. Sometimes.
Yeah, I was that way. Remember, Joe?
I know. So as soon as I
Yeah.
Well, you guys watched it a bunch of times. I didn't have access
I
to it
watched it.
I watched
because
it like 4 times.
son of a bitch. Guess what?
Yeah, dude, I love Little John, Big John.
Yeah, Little John,
I
Big
love
John,
those.
and Movie John, all in the same movie.
Movie John buys the house. He inherits. I can't talk now. He inherits the house from his now dead little brother, Big John.
Okay. The Scream Factory has the uncut on there,
That's cool.
but the Arrow is the exact same price as the Scream Factory on Amazon, and this one has. It's not going to give me a. Hey, Craig, does it have 2 cuts of the film on there, or just the uncut version of it on there? I love the cover though. God damn, that's cool as shit.
Yeah, the Arrow cover is cool.
Hell yeah.
Hey, how much are those MVD Jack Frost covers going for?
The slip covers or just the movies?
The movies. How much are they going for?
$20.
You know,
$20 a piece.
'cause I've got Jack Frost 1 from I think it's Vinegar Syndrome.
Don't buy the second one
Uh,
unless they
I don't have this.
a,
I never got the slip cover. I never got the lenticular slip covers. Mine came without it.
Yeah, I got the lenticular one. The second one is supposed to be a cut version of it, and I'm not sure. I've heard that MVD is going to do a replacement disc sort of thing, but I'm not sure if they've solidified that yet. So I don't know if I'd buy it yet.
Well, I did like the little slip covers, like the cartoon looking. You know, those were kind of cool.
Slip covers are cool, but I buy them for the movies. I don't buy them for the slip covers.
I know, but sometimes I do buy things for the cover art. Once again, I've got 5 or 6 different versions of TCM too.
Hey, I'm one of the few people that like Jack Frost too.
If
But
I'm
everybody
on,
else shits on it.
if I'm on Vinegar Syndrome or something, and they have the option of slipcover or no slipcover, I'm obviously going to take the slipcover.
Right.
But if I don't,
Well,
they only
you know
have-
what's funny, dude, is when I made that order, they did have the option, and I did pick slipcovers, and I
And you
got
didn't
them
get it.
without.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's some bullshit. My Luther the Geek came with a slipcover. I think that's the only one that I've gotten that came with the slipcover.
Which one?
Luther the Geek.
Yeah, but you got that from Vinegar Syndrome, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's the only
way you
time
can
I've
get
ever
it.
gotten a slipcover.
Yeah.
Yeah, Craig, it does.
You know, I've literally ordered stuff from Vinegar Syndrome. They gave me the option to buy the slipcover, and I picked it, and I didn't get one.
That's weird. I mean, normally it says it right there.
Yeah, I know.
I've
It'll
never
say
I've
if they're
never-
sold out or not, or whatever. You know.
and then it tells you how many. It'll tell you like 1,000 in stock or however. You know?
Yep. Yep.
When I bought, oh goddamn, what is it?
Okay. Thank you, Craig.
What the fuck is it called? The one with the big fucking guy thinks he's a pig. Slaughterhouse.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That said it had slipcovers available. I picked one. I didn't get one.
There is no
Jack
slipcover
Frost said it
available
had
for that.
slipcover available. I picked one. I didn't get one.
Okay. Here's the thing with Slaughterhouse. There is actually no slipcover available for Slaughterhouse. What they have is a thing you can buy that has this. It has a connecting box.
Yeah, it goes like
There's
this.
a-
Yeah,
That's
it goes like
different.
that.
Yeah, that's different. That's not something that's like a specialty thing that they did for that.
But when I picked the movies on the little thing, I checked the little check down box.
Yeah.
And it said slipcovers available, and I picked it, and I didn't get slipcovers on any of the titles I ordered on that whole order.
Huh.
See, that doesn't make sense. I can
Luther
see like
the
maybe
Geek.
one or two, but I think you messed up somewhere.
Luther the Geek is the only one I've received a slipcover on from any of my purchases. From
It
them.
just seems odd that like you get multiple titles and they don't have some
Yeah, that's why my movies are always so sticky, John.
Yeah.
They have good and bad like everybody else. I don't love all their movies, but for low budget, I think that they can do a lot worse.
John, I've totally shit on a few of their movies.
Yeah.
I mean, but they're just like any other releasing company. They have good stuff, they got bad stuff.
I hope you bought
But-
that, Craig.
I will say I like Wild Eye a lot because they give the chance to people.
Yep.
I-
They give them a chance, they give them a platform. That's what's so great
I
about
think a lot of people fail to realize that too. It's like I know everybody gets. Don't get me wrong. I love Vinegar Syndrome and Scream Factory and stuff too. But they've also released some really shit films that just because they're older doesn't mean they're not crappy films.
it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Wild Eye again is just a
Mhm.
distribution company, so
Mhm.
you may get some horror gems, which we've seen plenty. I mean, Chocolate Strawberry Vanilla, The Forest of the Lost Souls. I mean, we've had plenty of
Velocipaster.
In fact, I was just about to recommend both of those to John.
genuinely good movies, and then
yeah.
sometimes you get some stinkers. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
the way it is. I mean, Anchor
Cat
Bay-
Sick Blues, John. That's another one that's just an amazing film.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, Anchor
Um,
Bay back then, everybody
think,
everybody loved Anchor Bay, but Anchor Bay didn't always release good films. They were just something to collect.
Shit, when Hobbs
Anchor
sent
Bay's
me the
released a lot of
Spanish,
crap.
I was saying something here. When Hobbs sent me the Spanish Chainsaw Massacre, I had to basically pry it out of the package because it was all stuck to the film in there.
Yeah, that was
That's
shit.
a shitty movie, but it's literally a shitty
Yes.
movie.
Ben Triggered and Fury of the Demon. I love both.
Good
of them.
job, Craig.
Oh, Triggered's an amazing fucking.
Yeah.
Fury of the Demon was
Love
one of my
that
favorites.
movie.
I fucking love that.
Yeah, it's really good.
Love Clownado, Animalistic, House
Yep.
of the Dead.
Space Clown was great.
Yep.
All good, very disturbing movies. That's something I like, is they give the chance to a lot of these movies that are straight up disturbing. And I know
Cockface
Rick
Killer.
likes his Team Extreme, but
House,
that one just sucked balls. I hate that.
House on Cuckoo Lane is still one of my favorites.
Yes. Yes.
And then of course we have Morbid with
Yeah.
Guy Fawkes Walker.
Well, Morbid, a lot of people would probably call Morbid a shitty movie, but
it's
we
It
fun.
is
just
a
liked
shitty
it.
movie, but it's
even
fun.
Jay didn't like it at first.
It's really fun to watch.
It's
though.
fun, yeah.
And then it's like if it wasn't for Morbid, we probably wouldn't have watched Screwdriver, which was also a blast.
I love Screwdriver.
So it just kind of leads you into other
And that's
stuff.
why I interviewed Chuck. It's because
Mhm.
you know me, I'm trying to interview bigger names and bigger, but like I interview who I want. I wanted to interview him. I liked his movie. I wanted to talk about it.
We got to get Chicken Blood now. Chicken Blood is out on.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. We were talking about all that earlier, John.
Yeah, the Shudder
John's
film.
bringing up like every topic we talked about earlier.
No, that's good though because it's true. I mean, we were definitely talking about that, getting the Shudder films from Dollar Tree. I like a lot of the Shudder films. I got a few of them.
Me too.
Yeah, I do too.
We were talking about how we're glad that Shudder actually releases their films on physical media, unlike
Yep.
Netflix and stuff.
Yeah,
They tend to hold back.
I've
been fortunate with Shudder movies.
That would be awesome to get Bill Moseley on. I know, John. I'm just fucking. I know. We know you weren't here. I'm just giving you shit.
Yes, I like Creature Cabin.
Oh,
And what was the one that was like? Was that Creature
Oh,
Cabin? It
that's
was like
what-
Evil Dead.
somebody fucking.
That was Creature Cabin, yeah.
Yeah, good movie.
I don't remember who, but somebody just put a comment on that video today, talking
Creature
about
Cabin?
how, they said that how great my review was, and that they couldn't believe how awesome the movie was, and now it's
Oh.
like one of their all-time favorites.
It was the same. It must have been the same person. They just commented on mine too. They said that.
Probably.
They said,
I wouldn't be surprised.
they said
Probably.
the same thing. They talked about how it like blew them away as one of their favorites now, and like how they were glad that I reviewed it and stuff. And, yeah, probably the same person. They probably like
And
found
just
the-
about any Todd Sheets film. You know.
Craig, that's what we were talking about. They said no at this point. They have no plans to release it on physical
That's-
media.
Yeah, as
That's
far
a
as I
major
know,
misstep.
Greg, I've been reading that it will not get a physical release.
Yeah,
I still
John.
think that's a major misstep.
John, I'm looking forward to it because I just want to see how bad it is because I've heard bad things. But with that being said, I tend to like a lot of things that other people don't. So I'm hoping that I'll at least get some enjoyment out of it.
Yeah, John, that was our opening conversation on that one. I did a video on it, and what I said was basically, I really, really hope it's good, but so far I have not been impressed. And with all the troubles it's had, and now it went from being a theatrically released movie downgraded. I don't want to say downgraded because I like Netflix, but like it was supposed to be theatrically released, and now it's just going straight to Netflix.
And the fact that they didn't make any changes to it after the poor showings, like they didn't even attempt
Yeah,
to.
I haven't heard about any redone things
Yeah,
either.
they didn't. They just.
So I'm not holding out high hopes. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna review it, and then after I review it, I'll re-rank the franchise again with it added in there. Just because I like to do those, I like to do that whenever a new movie comes out. But I really, really, really hope it's good. I really do. And then we're supposed to be getting this new Hellraiser movie. I hope that's good. I want another Leprechaun film, and the last one did well enough. I think we should be able to get a new one.
You got the new Evil
know.
Dead Rise coming.
Yeah, Evil Dead Rise. In fact, I was going to put on Shudder here in the background, but I didn't want to because I won't be able to really concentrate on it. That Rise of the Deadites or whatever it's called. That documentary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. John, I think we've said this before, but if you haven't seen Never Hike Alone, check that out. Never Hike in the Snow. Those are really good. And then the 13 Fanboy, I really enjoyed. That was a good one too. And that's actually got a lot of the Friday the 13th alumni in it. And it's directed by one of the people from Friday the 13th. But it's more of a Scream-like movie, actually. But it's really awesome.
Okay.
It's like a love letter to Friday the 13th, done Scream
actually,
style.
I like this too. Mr. Bones likes the Neon Dead. I thought that was really good too.
See, I've never seen that. I don't have that one. I've always been curious about that one.
It's good. It's a good movie. I like that one too. Little Sister, that's another good one.
What's the one? Is it Cold Ground? Is that what it's called?
Yes. And you liked Wolf House.
I did because it's
I
different.
liked Wolf House too.
It's not
That's the only one on that 4-pack I haven't watched yet.
I don't know you're gonna like it because it's it's found footage, but we'll see. You tend to like some
almost
found
all the
footage
movies
lately.
that are.
Yeah, you've tended.
Yeah, some of them have been better. It just, found footage just gives me a headache. It always has. But Cold Ground was fucking amazing. That's another good one, John. That you should watch from Wild Eyes. Cold Ground.
Yeah, that's
Cold
a good
Ground
one.
to me, and I said this before. That is the movie that Blair Witch Project should have been.
I love The Butchering because again, I'm being a fan of Scream. It's like the Scottish version of Scream.
Yes,
I like that movie a lot.
No, I haven't, but I'm going to, Mr. Bones. I was actually I hit him with a message about that the other day. I'm actually going to see that.
What are you going to see, Brad?
Jason Rising. It was co-written by Vincent DeSanti, and it's with Wamston Films working on it. So, I swear that guy's going to make a career out of just making fucking Friday the 13th fan films.
Yeah, I know.
I would love to see if they ever finally do. And I've seen this quote a lot. I've seen it on Twitter. I've seen it on videos. I've seen everything. Just let him fucking direct one. Give it to fucking Vincent DeSanti and let him direct a full out, studio backed fucking Friday the 13th film. I think that would be awesome. But if not, we got all the cool ass movies he's making, so I'm good with that. And they just announced that Never Hike Alone 2 is about to start its official Kickstarter campaign, and I can't wait to contribute to that because I'm going to get my Blu-ray. And it's kind of cool seeing your name in the credits.
Yeah, it is kind of cool. Fucking Chiefs. On Instagram, they were live at the Pro Bowl.
Fuck them.
Yep. You know what's funny, though? If he had made the Super Bowl, he wouldn't go to the Pro Bowl. So I guess I'd rather see him there than in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Although I won't be seeing him anyway because I don't like him.
Okay, so we're right at the end of the Windmill, Jay, right?
Yeah.
And do you remember what happens right before the movie ends?
You'd have to refresh my memory. It's been a while since I've seen it.
You remember how in Scream they always talk about the killer comes back for one more scare, right?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I love that. Right through the fucking head.
Yep. Oh, boy. Well, I am going to tap out, my sirs. I'm kind of tired. A long day.
I don't know, John. Really? Is it?
Just for me tonight. It's been a long day. So I'm kind of beat down.
Not even 10 o'clock yet.
Well, you guys can keep going. You guys can keep the fire going. I'm fucking beat, man. Been a really long day for me.
All right.
Guilt Jay into staying another 30 minutes.
Eh? Scream 5 has put me right off of that franchise. Eh, boy.
Says the guy who likes the Elm remake.
Yeah. And Jason Goes to Hell.
Yeah.
Craig not liking Scream 5 pretty much guarantees that you guys will love it.
Oh, man. All right, fellas. I'm tapping out. See you, everybody.
All right, Jay. Good night. Wait, you're leaving
Yeah.
too, Joe?
Well, I mean, I guess we finish up now. It's been 3 hours.
Oh, all right, whatever.
Fuck it. Well, what? We got 10 people watching. We'll go a little while longer, I guess. Good night, Chase. We still got people here. I didn't think we had that many people still watching.
Yep. I've noticed that lately they've been picking up more towards this time of the night than right at the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even realize it was already this time.
Well, it's really not that late. We've only been on for
Craig, you're missing
2
something
hours
big.
50
Craig,
minutes.
you are missing something big. And I can't say it here because Brad hasn't seen it and other people haven't seen it. But I understand what you're saying with the math thing, but you're missing something.
I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it, Ben. I enjoyed the Rumble. But I am a WWE person, I'll say that. Just like I watched Raw today.
The UFC Rumble.
And that was the best Raw that I've seen in a while. I really enjoyed today's Raw. I knew that they were going to win. They've been setting up for that storylines forever.
Yeah.
For at least, as soon as I heard Ronda was coming back, I knew she was going to win.
Yep.
I mean, come on, that's just common sense. If you know the business, that's common sense. And with Brock, I knew that was going to happen anyways, that he was going to lose the title and then win the Royal Rumble because they've been setting up for him versus Reigns forever, and then they had to cancel it during day one because Reigns got COVID. So, I knew they were going to do that before the show even started. But it's still a lot of fun to watch. And I can't wait for Elimination Chamber, man. I don't think I've been this fucking excited for an Elimination Chamber, and I don't know how long. I mean, Brock Lesnar was built for that fucking or that kind of arena. I would love to see him in the Elimination Chamber. What up, Tara Reels? Steel City Dahmer in the house. Oh.
I'm messaging you now, Craig.
They already did the Pauly Shore turn. I've really liked what Brock's been doing the last few months. He's actually showed a different side of himself, and it's been pretty fun. I don't know, man. I knew that it was going to happen. You can't have big, giant fucking stars like that enter and not have them win. It'd be like if Shawn Michaels came back. You would know he's going to win because it's Shawn Michaels. They always have these legends entrants and stuff and, or surprise people. But, like, if it's somebody like that, if it's somebody that's gigantic, they're going to win. So, hey, your girl was in there, dude. She was in the Women's Royal Rumble. What's her name? The chick from Australia? One you had me send you the figure of? She was in there. But I don't know. I still will take WWE over AEW any day of the week. AEW has just not impressed me at all. But it is what it is. Then they put all their eggs in one basket with CM Punk, and he has not lived up to his fucking hype. I'll say that. His matches have been shit. He's been shit. Then again, I might be biased. I really don't like him anyways. There's nobody on that show I want to see, though, Ben. It's literally like nobody's. And that one dude, the fucking skateboard guy that's teaming with Sting, that fucking coffin drop move that is like the lamest fucking move ever. That guy is not intimidating whatsoever. He's not even believable as a fucking wrestler. Like, maybe if they have just a cruiserweight division, but him going up against some big old dude and knocking him out with that fucking move is just bullshit. I mean, AEW is so fucking amateur hour, it's not even funny. It's like WWE wannabe light or WCW wannabe, you know? I try watching it. I do. I watch it like every other week or so. I tune it in. And the only person I enjoy watching on there is Jericho. You put Jericho on there, and I fucking will watch it. Sting, I don't even know why Sting's on there. You know. I don't know. That's just my opinion. I try because I want them to do good. Because I feel it's good for everybody to have some competition in the business. All right, Joe, you got quiet. What do you think?
Oh, sorry. I was just messaging Craig.
I don't know. I just have always preferred WWE.
Yeah,
the only exception to that was during the Monday Night Wars. I was a WCW guy.
I watched both. I used to love going back and forth. And,
I did too. I watched them both, but
back then I would tape like one and watch the other live, and then go back and forth in commercials. And
for me, it was I loved the NWO. You know, absolutely loved the NWO. No, there's so much good going on right now that I'm enjoying. I mean, the Lashley, like I said, this Elimination Chamber match is going to be awesome. The only one that shouldn't be in that is Austin Theory. I don't know what the fuck's going on with that guy or why he's getting a push, but whatever. I've always said it, and I'll say it a million times. I don't care what anybody says about Vince McMahon. Without Vince McMahon, there is no fucking professional wrestling. So people need to stop hating, stop dissing, shut the fuck up, lick his balls, and say, "Thank you, sir. May I have another shot of cum in my mouth?" That's just my opinion, though. You know what's funny too? A lot of people, it's probably not going to be admitted for a few more years, but it's probably true. I'm about 90% sure that Vince McMahon is the one feeding AEW its talent just so he can have competition. And I'm also 95% sure that AEW is partially owned by Vince McMahon. You know,
this was the first year. Well, 2021 is the first year that WWE surpassed $1 billion in profits.
Oh, I know, dude. It's huge, over $1 billion.
First time to surpass it. They've been at like 900 and something million a few times, but first time they surpassed $1 billion.
Right.
And that's pretty impressive considering the times, you know?
Yeah, it's their most profitable year they've ever had.
Yep.
And the fact that they were doing it mostly in front of with no ticket sales, you know, because they were doing sold out arenas for most of the year, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I do not like MJF Hobbs. I don't like him. I think his promos are terrible. The guy cannot wrestle. He has no business even being in the business. I don't like him. I don't see why people do. Orange Cassidy is another one I can't stand. You know, the Young Bucks, I don't like them either. I fucking hate their characters. I hate their attitude. They're semi-decent in the ring, but all they are is a wannabe Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels. You know, or maybe a wannabe Hardy Boys. I don't hate AEW. I really wish they were better. They have not impressed. You know, I know this sounds really ridiculous to say, but I'm a pretty serious wrestling fan, and I don't like the way they do business. You know, I really don't. I don't know if that much came from there, Ben. I mean, it's possible, but a lot of their money has come from all these different deals they've been making with different things. I mean, they even just struck a deal up with Disney. There's going to be a bunch of Disney, I don't know what they're going to be, some sort of shows or something about Disney WWE, you know. But what really kills me about it is the fans. All these fans bash WWE, but yet they show up to every WWE show that when it comes to town, you know. And they watch all the fucking things.
It's like a toxic fan.
You know, exactly.
Yeah.
WWE, I don't sit there and just like, you know, I said one thing about something about AEW show this because I was watching it. And I got on Twitter and I said one thing about it, and that's all I said. But like, you can't stop people all the time. All they do is sit there and bash WWE and bash WWE. Well, obviously they're still watching it because they wouldn't know what it's on it if they weren't, you know, to bash it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, honestly, that's a tough one because even though I still like WWE, I don't like a lot of the newer wrestlers like I liked back in the day. You know what I mean? Like, at all. I'm definitely a 90s and early 2000s kind of person when it comes to wrestling. Or 80s even, because I'm a huge Hulkamaniac.
Yeah, late 80s, 90s, early 2000s for me.
I still love John Cena. He's one of my all-time favorites. Triple H is one of my all-time favorites. Shawn Michaels is one of my all-time favorites. The Undertaker. Currently, though, out of people that are still there, or people that are there, I still fucking love Randy Orton. I think that guy is still probably one of the most talented wrestlers on the face of the planet, if not the most. I mean, that guy is built to do what he does. Brock Lesnar, great one. I love Chris Jericho. He's the reason I keep watching AEW. I love Chris Jericho. And but I'm telling you right now, I'm telling you, and they showed it more with this Royal Rumble, and then all the talk about there were actual AEW stars at the Rumble. CM Punk was in the building at the Rumble.
Yeah.
Okay, he was there. They showed pictures of him there. You know, I'm just saying, I'm very sure that AEW, a lot of people didn't know back in the 90s that WWE subsidized ECW, that they gave them talent to use. They helped them with money. They paid ECW money to help keep ECW going. I think that they're doing the same thing now with AEW. They just haven't said so. But you look at their stories. You look at the stuff AEW does, just like with TNA. It's all stuff that WWE or WCW has done before. All their storylines are stuff they've done already.
Hobbs, I'm not sure if you ever heard me tell this story, but about 12 years ago or so, I worked security for Bret Hart at an event where he was signing in a local area, and he wanted to go out for a steak. So me and my other friend who were working security for him, we took him to a local restaurant, and he made us stay, and he bought us steaks, and we literally sat with Bret Hart and had steaks for like 2-3 hours. He was a really cool guy.
Yeah, I know a lot of people know it now, Hobbs, but at the time people didn't know that. I didn't know that. That whole thing about ECW was the anti-WWF. You know, nobody knew that back then, but they know it now. But I think that's going on with AEW now. I really do believe that's going on. And I'm not into conspiracy theories and stuff, but it's just there's too much evidence to show that it is. Why is WWE releasing all these people and really not caring? And then they don't care that they're going over to AEW because they don't care. You know, I mean, On AEW, fucking Eric Bischoff showed up on AEW. He was just on WWE a couple days ago. You know, I mean, I think there's a lot more there that they're sharing than they're letting on. They were talking about, they've been dropping hints that Moxley's going to come back to WWE for a Shield reunion. You know? But you were asking about my current favorite people, like new age, newer wrestlers. I really like God damn it. Oh, I'm a big Sheamus person. I've liked Sheamus since he started. I like Kevin Owens. I didn't like Kevin Owens when he first came out, but I like him now. And to answer your question on that, I think that they've realized that Kevin Owens has a really good, what's the word I want? Not promo ability, but he does have that. But he's just really good as like him and Seth Rollins are doing a lot of fun stuff with this whole comedy thing they got going. And he was good with that. He was good with that with Jericho. They kind of showed that was where he was really good at. I mean, they just gave him a shit ton of money, so he must be doing something right. You know, people are like, oh, Bray Wyatt's gone. I was not a Bray Wyatt person. I didn't think he was good at all. And I still remember Bray Wyatt as Husky Harris. So, what about you, Joe? You like any of the newer wrestlers?
I really haven't followed it too much in recent years. Like every now and then I'll catch something, but I don't watch it like I used to. It just doesn't. I mean, I know it's hard to say it because I don't watch it, but like you said, it's even in the most recent times when I have watched it, there's nobody that stands out like, okay, this is my favorite wrestler. It's weird. It doesn't have the same feel for me like it used to.
The last like new wrestler that came along that I felt really had something, that really had it, and he proved it that he did, and he reached for the brass ring. He got the brass ring. That's why he's now one of the biggest stars on the planet is John Cena. You know, and that's all the way back to 2004, 2003, somewhere in there. When he started he wanted to be at the top. He got to the top, and now he's all over the place. There's nobody really like that anymore. Nobody wants to be, and they were talking about that on a Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast, you know?
Yeah.
They were talking about how nobody wants to be that guy, or nobody seems to have the drive to be that guy that says, I'm going to throw the company on my back and I'm going to go for it. I'm going to be the top person. Even Roman Reigns, even though, he's getting one hell of a push, I don't think that's because he really wanted so much, you know? Braun was okay. I don't know. Braun was good. He was big and strong, but he didn't have a lot of actual wrestling talent.
And the thing with Roman,
you can do both. I think you have to do both, Hobbs.
The thing with Roman is it's funny because it's like people really didn't take to him when they were really trying to push him at the start of his push. You know, it really took some work for the crowd to accept him. People were just not having it when WWE first started his push, and
he's definitely better as a heel.
Yeah.
I think you have to be able to do both. If you can't cut a promo, like, okay, the reason why Paul Heyman was put with Brock Lesnar is because Brock Lesnar can't cut a promo to save his life, or at least he couldn't then. Lately, if you watched him, he's gotten a lot better. He is really good on the mic now. But back in the day, he couldn't do it to save his life. Same thing with Drew McIntyre or Drew Galloway, whatever you want to call him. Randy Orton even was not very good on the mic. That's why he always had somebody else speak for him. Or he used his in-ring stuff and did let that speak. But you have to be able to back up the stuff you say in the ring. You have to have the talent. If you don't have the talent, I don't want to watch.
Yeah, Craig, that was disappointing. I agree. That sucked. I kind of felt bad for him with that, too.
You know what though is he actually said recently that he wanted to go back to they just put him back to NXT. That he didn't want to be on the main roster. He wants to be in NXT. And he wants to be part of the NXT UK and really help build that up. Some guys are like that. They want to be the people that help build something new, you know? That's why I think like Shawn Michaels is probably next to Hulk Hogan. Shawn Michaels is my favorite wrestler of all time.
Me too.
You're talking about a guy who can outperform anybody in the ring. Anybody. Shawn Michaels, in my opinion, is the greatest in-ring professional wrestler, performer of all time.
I agree. He can carry anybody.
Ever will be better than him.
He can carry anybody in the ring, no matter who it is.
And all these people nowadays, all of them, every single one. Shawn Michaels did a promo about this a few years ago when they were talking about, I think it was him and AJ Styles. I can't remember. Or so I don't remember who it was, but him and somebody. He's like, you're just another one in a long line of Shawn Michaels wannabes, you know, Shawn Michael clones. You'll never be Shawn, you know, and he wasn't actually being a dick. He was just, that's what his character was saying, you know?
Yeah.
But, no, even Brett says that Shawn's better than he was.
It's funny because, 1996 is like universally considered one of the worst years for WWF at the time. And I loved that year because that was when Shawn Michaels had the title and he was the one who led the federation. And, they didn't have a lot of other top talent that year. I mean, they had Brett, they had The Undertaker, they brought back Psycho Sid, but they lost, they lost Razor that year. They lost Diesel, who were two big names. They brought in Vader. That just wasn't working out. And that year always gets criticized as one of the worst in WWF, but I loved it because of Shawn. Like, Shawn carried that year.
He was so good. And I love Bret Hart. And when I was a kid, Bret Hart was one of my favorites too. And he is a great technical wrestler. He's a great grappler.
Yeah.
But he can't Shawn can do the grappling. He can also do the high flying. He can also kip up and fucking super kick your head off. You know what I'm saying? Shawn is, in my opinion, as I said, the greatest in-ring performer of all time. That's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Just my opinion. But on the mic, he could out-talk just about anybody.
Yep.
All that, the early DX promos was all Shawn. He was bringing Triple H along with that shit. You know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah. Two good examples of Shawn carrying people in the ring, too, was Shawn versus Hogan. As much as I loved Hogan, Hogan was was older in that match, and Shawn definitely carried that match. And then Shawn versus Vince at I think it was a WrestleMania, and that's when he like jumped from like the tall ladder onto McMahon, and that was another match. I mean, this is a match with Vince McMahon that was so freaking exciting because of Shawn. Like, he carried that match, that it was like one of the most entertaining matches of that whole pay-per-view. So it just shows like he could literally carry anybody in that ring.
And I agree with that, Ben. I really do. But there's something now, even when Shawn Michaels comes in for just a promo spot and he super kicks somebody, you can believe that person is knocked the fuck out.
Yeah.
But you see other people do a super kick, like even the Usos are doing. I don't know why because they're twins, and I guess it's something they can do as twins together. But like both of them super kicking somebody, I'm like, that didn't hurt that dude that much. You could tell.
Yeah.
But when Shawn Michaels super kicks somebody, even now in a promo, you're like, damn, that dude looks like he got knocked the fuck out.
Yeah, some people, I mean, look at Hogan with the leg drop. I mean, a leg drop is a typical move, but when Hogan did it, that was a finishing move for a reason. I mean, some people could just hit those moves better than other people.
And like you said, though, and the more the people try to imitate and the more they overuse those, the less effective they look.
Exactly.
Craig, I've watched them, dude. I know I've watched them. I watched all that shit. I grew up on that shit, but
I'm not saying
I
Brett
still think Shawn's better.
I'm not saying Brett can't carry, but Shawn, I think, can carry even more so. At least
Shawn is just better. He always was. You watch their matches against one another. Shawn was better.
Shawn just had I mean, it's nothing against Brett because like Brett was a tactical wrestler, like you said. Sean was just more exciting. He was high flying, and he could have these super kicks, and he could also do some tactical wrestling on top of that. And he was just he was a small guy. He could bounce all over the place.
I mean, he was way more charismatic.
He definitely had more of a presence, I think.
That's why I called him the best performer. I didn't say he was the greatest technical wrestler.
Exactly,
he's the greatest performer,
and that's what I agree with. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, you put Brett and Sean in a real match, Brett's going to kick his ass 10 times out of 10. But performing-wise, Sean can get it done.
The best rival, yes, I was just about to say that, Ben. Stone Cold versus Vince.
That's great.
Hulk Hogan versus Macho Man when the Mega Power split over Miss Elizabeth. That's still one of the best of all time. Triple H and Shawn Michaels when Shawn came back and they were pretending to hate each other.
Yep. That
was a great rivalry. That was a lot of fun. Oh, fuck. There was a lot of good ones. Let me see. Oh, the John Cena Randy Orton rivalry, because those two came up together. That was really good. Oh, John Cena Triple H. That's one of my favorites. And of course, once again, my opinion here, okay, my opinion, two of the greatest matches of all time, back-to-back WrestleMania matches, Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker. Those two matches were two of my absolute favorites and way better. I don't think so, man. I'm sorry. The early NWA stuff I was not a huge fan of. Wrestling did not get exciting until Vince McMahon came along. I'm sorry, but I will argue that till the day I die. Most of the stuff that was on NWA wrestling back in the early 80s and all that would come on, all the territory stuff, most of it was plain out boring.
I mean, they focused more on wrestlers back then. I mean, you had Bob Backlund, who was champion for years.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And most of them look like old men.
It's nothing against Bob Backlund because he was a great wrestler, but he's not a guy that is exciting to watch.
The best rivalry, the best things from those days, the best things, period, was Jerry the King Lawler versus Andy Kaufman. That was great. And early Macho Man stuff.
Yeah.
Way better than, it wasn't until Vince McMahon came along that wrestling got good. And that's why they should just fucking get down on their knees and thank him. And that's why it's not near as good as it was now. I mean, you're never going to top the 80s, 90s. You're never going to top that in wrestling ever again.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying this because, whatever. 20 years from now, you're not going to be talking about the greatest match of all time being in AEW or TNA. It's not going to happen. 20 years from now, they're still going to be talking about the greatest matches of all time, and they happen in either WWE or WCW.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the greatest thing that ever happened to wrestling was when Ted Turner decided to buy WCW and put up competition against Vince McMahon. That was the best time in wrestling and will never be beaten, in my opinion. Monday Night Wars was the greatest thing of all time.
I missed the gimmicks when they had like the Huckster and the Nacho Man, and they would make fun of like Hogan and the.
Oh yeah. When they brought out Hulk and it was the old guy on the walker.
The old guy. Yeah.
That was so much fun.
I missed those days, definitely.
I never got into it, dude. I just didn't. The Four Horsemen, even, that was not a big deal for me.
Four Horsemen for me was WCW days when it was Steve Mongo McMichael, Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, and Chris Benoit.
They got into WCW and they actually had some money behind them and could do some things.
Like those are the Four Horsemen I always think about.
Even Dusty Rhodes, Dusty Rhodes to me was better when he got into WCW and WWE.
I always enjoyed. Speaking of Dusty Rhodes, I always enjoyed watching Dustin, whether he was Gold Dust or not. Like even with that crazy gimmick at the time. I remember back in the day, like all my friends hated Gold Dust because he was feuding with Razor Ramon and then feuding with Ahmed Johnson and stuff. And I always rooted for Gold Dust because I liked his skills in the ring. And I feel like because of his gimmick, like people were failing to see that. But it's funny because now, like, a lot of the wrestlers talk about that, like how respected he really was in the locker room for being such a good wrestler and being so good in the ring. And because he was hidden behind these crazy gimmicks, no one really gave him the credit that he deserved.
And he still is in AEW. He's one of the best people they got over there.
Yep.
And he's totally underutilized. They never have him on TV. In fact, their roster is growing so big, they don't have enough time to put people on TV. And I guarantee you, before the end of the year, they're going to start cutting people like crazy.
Yeah.
They have to. They don't have, they're paying these people to do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
They don't do traveling shows like WCW does, or WWE does, like every day there's a show, Like they don't do that. They have a much lighter schedule. They just I don't think they're going to be able to keep up the momentum. Tony Khan, or whatever his name is, the owner. Well, technically he's the owner's son. The owner is the guy that owns the Jaguars. The father, I can't remember his fucking name.
Yeah.
And then there's his son, which is the face owner of the company.
Yeah, Hobbs.
Yeah, the Dark Show, I watch it.
Yeah, Mr. Boom.
But yeah, the face owner, which is the son, and even though he's a big wrestling fan, that's why they bought the thing and that's why they started it. He's a big wrestling fan. They just sooner or later they're just overextending themselves, and it really does make me think of WCW. They're trying to give competition. They may give them a good run for a while, but after a while, they're just going to overextend themselves. They're going to be paying out way too much money, and guess who's going to be there to scoop in and buy them out?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's played out so many times already.
Mm-hmm.
We had at this Royal Rumble, they had stars from Impact Wrestling. I mean, what's that tell you?
Yep.
And Impact and AEW are supposed to be working together. So obviously there's something going on where there's more than just them working together. I give all those guys their props, Craig, for what they did in the ring and stuff and the things that they were able to put together. In fact, probably the best thing the NWA ever did was the Road Warriors. But once again, they got better when they got a bigger exposure. I like my wrestling to be big. I want to see big shows. I want to see big wrestling. I want to see big wrestlers. I'm not really a small man wrestler, with the exception. You got to be fucking talented, which is why I like Shawn Michaels so much. And I like Rey Mysterio. You got to be fucking talented if you're going to be a small guy and be a favorite of mine. I mean,
speaking of big shows, I think it's funny to think like back, in the 90s when, In Your House first came, it was like a 2-hour pay-per-view. And I feel like there was so much crammed into those 2 hours back then. But it was just 2 hours long. And I feel like there was just so much that happened. And I remember do you remember it was the Beware of Dog pay-per-view in 96, the lights went out. So like 3 of the matches they had to do the following night, they had to do them all over again because they lost power in the arena because they had like a big electrical storm. That was they had to redo the Vader Yokozuna match. They had to do the Savio Vega Stone Cold Steve Austin match, Caribbean Trap match again. And then the Goldust Undertaker casket match, I think it was. They had to do those over again.
yeah.
Like, I'll never forget that. But it's like they used to have like it was a 2-hour pay-per-view, and like every match was pretty much big except for maybe the first one. They'd have like like a tag team match that nobody cared about, and then they'd have like really good matches after that.
Right. Something something back when John Cena and Daniel Bryan were having a little feud a few years back, when John Cena was still like fully in the company all the time. And he was talking, Daniel Bryan was saying how he paid his dues. He did the bingo halls and he did this and he did that,
Mm-hmm.
and he played all this. And John Cena was like, no, you're right. I've never done the bingo halls and all. I never wanted to do the bingo halls. I wanted to be the best. And I went to where I could be the best and I became the best. And, and if you want to go back and play bingo halls, be my guest. If that's what you want to do, go do it. And that's how I feel. I don't want to watch the bingo hall wrestling.
Yeah.
To this day, Daniel Bryan is one of the worst fucking people as far as wrestlers go. I can't stand Daniel Bryan.
I've never been a fan of him. I never understood.
It's so boring.
Yeah.
I don't care how good of a technical mat wrestler you are. If you are boring, you are boring.
It's funny because that was his gimmick, when he first got popular. Just the boring wrestler, Daniel Bryan, the boring name.
Yeah.
Like he had no real gimmick. That was the gimmick, but
right. And even the Yes movement was annoying.
Yeah, everything was.
Like the best thing that Daniel Bryan ever did, the best thing he ever did was Team Hell No with fucking the Team Hell No with fucking Kane. But now you watch him now over in AEW, he's completely wasted. He has no idea. They have nobody to put him against. They have nobody to wrestle with him. I guarantee you he will go back to WWE. I'll guarantee you that. CM Punk never will, but Daniel Bryan will be back in WWE. Or Daniel Bryanson or whatever he calls himself these days.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I don't think so. The best match Cena ever had was WrestleMania, was it 20 against Triple H, where they did the Hollywood entrances.
That was a good one. Honestly,
that's
not necessarily my favorite, but one of my favorite matches with Cena was Cena against The Miz. I forget which WrestleMania it was.
That was a good one too. And you know what? The Miz. Now Miz plays a great character. Like Miz is.
I like him a lot.
Yes, I like ECW too, Mr. Bones. When I said the bingo, I was just being figurative. When you're playing in front of like 5 people, you know what I'm saying? Okay, Craig, I didn't say it was. I said, was it WrestleMania 20? I don't remember. I didn't say it was WrestleMania 20. I said, was it WrestleMania 20? Nobody will ever convince me that anything that's out now or anything that's been out, Dynamite or TNA was the same thing. Everything they did, the best time TNA ever had, in my opinion, is when Hogan came in and Bischoff came in and took over their story writing. Everything else sucked.
One of my favorite championship wins was the first ever Money in the Bank when it was turned in, when Cena had just fought like a triple threat match, and then
when it was just a match on WrestleMania.
Yeah, and then Edge cashed it in. All of a sudden, his music started playing, and Edge cashed it in after a year. It was New Year's Revolution pay-per-view. It was almost a year since Edge had won the Money in the Bank, and because it was the first Money in the Bank, he carried it around all year, but they didn't really like talk about it as much as they do now.
Right.
So when the music started playing, I remember at the time thinking, "Oh shit," because like it seemed like the pay-per-view was over. Cena had just retained the title, and then Edge came out. They rang the bell. Edge spared him like twice, pinned him, and then won the championship. I remember thinking, "Holy shit, this was amazing!" Like he beat Cena in like a minute, and
yeah, it shocked everybody.
It was so unexpected.
That, like, oh my god!
Oh, it was amazing. Yeah, I loved it.
I started liking Cena when he was doing. I started liking Cena when he was doing the rapping thing and the the Chain Gang gimmick, because he was funny.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was good. He was pretty good in the ring, but he was funny. I'm not saying Cena's the greatest wrestler ever, but he may be one of the greatest wrestling people ever. You know what I mean? Like one of the greatest of all time in that respect. Just like, I mean, Ric Flair will tell you himself, when it comes to technical wrestling, he's not that good. In fact, he knows how to do, like everybody calls Cena's things the 5 moves of death, because they say Cena can only do 5 moves, which Cena has repeatedly shown that he can do more than that. But okay, whatever. Ric Flair has the same thing. He's like, I could do 3 things in the ring.
Mhm.
I did those 3 things, but I did them extremely well.
Yep.
You know, same
Another-
thing with Hulk Hogan, even. But it wasn't. The thing about wrestling is not just about in the ring. You have to take that in the ring, but you also have to take that personality part, that charisma part, all of that. You know.
Well, a lot of people at the time, I know a lot of people at the time didn't like it, but I enjoyed when JBL was champ. He was, with SmackDown at the time, and he had the title for like a year. He was the longest reigning champion in like a decade at that point, and he just wouldn't lose the belt. And it was Cena who finally beat him. It was Cena's first title win. But JBL, I used to love watching him. I remember being live watching him because they came here. They come here often. I remember one match. I think it was against the Big Show. It was in a steel cage match, and JBL got choke slammed through the canvas, and he literally crawled out of the bottom of the ring, holding onto his belt, and won the match that way because he escaped the cage. And I remember thinking it was so fucking awesome because he was literally choke slammed through the friggin' mat. You think, holy shit, what's gonna happen here? And here he comes crawling out, holding onto his fucking belt, clenched to his chest. And the friggin' bell rings, and JBL had retained the title, and he used to just win these matches in these cool ways, and I really enjoyed that title reign. And like I said, a lot of people gave him shit because they wanted him to lose, but WWE knew what they were doing. I mean, they kept him the champion for a long time, and it was worth it. It made it so much more worth it in the end when Cena finally beat him, because like JBL was unbeatable for over a year, and then finally Cena was able to do it.
Right. Yeah. Do you remember? You remember his cabinet, JBL's cabinet?
Yes.
And Jillian.
Yes.
And she would come out and try to sing.
Yeah, that's right.
I always wondered if that was an act. I mean, I know it was an act, but like, could she really not sing, or did she pretend to not be able to sing?
Yeah, she's singing bad. Yeah.
But oh my god, it was so terrible. But it was so much fun to make fun of her. Like,
Yep.
Oh man, I fucking loved and hated that at the same time.
I used to like when they do that. I used to like when they had people hold on to the belt for like a long time like that. I mean, it's always exciting to see title change hands, but the longer you have the belt on somebody, the better it is when they finally lose it.
Well, like Reigns has now held the title for what, 500 some day or whatever, over 2 years.
Yeah,
he's held the title for like 2 years now or something, almost 2 years, somewhere in there. I don't remember the exact. I'm not good with remembering every fucking little number and shit.
Back then I was. Now I'm not. Yeah.
But even like Hulk Hogan held the title for like 2 years.
Yeah.
He lost it for like a week and then he win it back. I think John Cena, and this is just my opinion, John Cena is one of the best of all times because of him, because of his personality, because of his work ethic, because of everything he did. He wanted to be at the top. He reached the top. That's why he's got 16 times. That's why he's the guy they chose to break, or at least tie at the moment, Ric Flair's record.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you he's going to break it. He will get 17.
Oh, I'm sure.
He'll be back and he'll get 17. But he also has other commitments to do. But, one thing about John Cena too is he, it's so funny because remember when him and Rock went at it in like 2013? And he was always making fun of Rock, saying that I'm here all the time. He now says how much he changed his mind on that because he respects The Rock, because he didn't realize how demanding, the scheduling and all that is. Plus, when you're in a movie, you're not allowed to do the wrestling thing because they can't take the chance of you getting hurt.
Exactly.
And like, it's so funny that now he realizes, but at the same time, and The Rock, I think, still has his heart set in wrestling too, and he comes back once in a while.
Hey, Nathan.
But I think we'll see Cena more often than The Rock. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
So, what up, NDT? Speaking of NDT, it's me, NDT, the whole fucking show. I used to love RVD, man. RVD was, to me, the guy that could be the next Shawn Michaels. And then, like, I don't know, he just came and went.
Yeah.
It was
He
never
wasn't
like,
utilized, right?
yeah, and not just in WWE, in any place he went.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, any place he went, it just didn't seem to work out. And it's like, I think what the Hardys did when they went, what Matt Hardy did with the whole delete thing when they went over to TNA, Jeff's run in TNA was a little lackluster.
Hmm.
But what Matt did in doing those independent matches of him and Jeff out in the middle of the field and shit,
Yeah.
like in filming them, like cinematically filming those cinematic matches, I mean that really helped like during COVID because the cinematic matches of like Taker's retirement match, that was a cool ass match, even though it was like it was a movie basically, but it was a cool ass match, and but they were kind of like the forerunners of that, and I really want Jeff. I want Jeff and I want Matt, but I want them in WWE. I don't want they. I like, the Hardy Boys. I want to see. I would love to see a throwback match of Jeff and Matt versus Edge and Christian.
Hmm.
I would love that match. Eddie. Okay, I loved Eddie Guerrero. Not as much as Bill did. Eddie Guerrero is probably in Bill's top 2. Maybe 3. I don't know. But he's really up there. I love Eddie Guerrero, but as a wrestler and all, I don't know if he ever made my top 10.
Yeah, same with me. I was never
so
a huge, like, I wasn't a huge fan of his title run and stuff. Like, I don't know. I just didn't, he wasn't a world champion for me.
For me, his best stuff when he did it was when he was doing his lie, cheat, and steal.
Mm-hmm.
And then the shit with Chavo Guerrero. And then the shit where Chavo went fucking crazy and turned on Eddie.
Yeah.
And he was like going psycho and riding that little fucking stick pony. And the Yokero Taco Bell dog was real popular at the time.
Yep.
And they did that Yokero Taco Bell dog commercial about I'm hunting Godzillas.
Mm-hmm.
And then he did, which was kind of like a throwback to old Looney Tunes.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, Chavo was like, be very, very quiet. I'm hunting Eddies. I love that shit. The stuff that Eddie did was so much fun.
Yeah.
Like he would smack somebody with a chair and then toss it to him and lay himself out,
Mm-hmm.
get the other guy disqualified. Just
Yep.
Or when they stole Kurt Angle's wheelchair, or
Yeah.
like it was just so much fun. And I loved how he came to the ring in a car every time, that was just cool. I don't know. I really wonder. I do know that WWE just offered him another contract. Even though supposedly they said he failed a drug, but then he said he got his tox screening and it came back negative. I don't know. I don't know what's all there. That's whatever. I heard Shane O'Mac just got fired again, but I still think it's a work.
Yeah, I think so too.
But a lot of people were saying he was being real difficult behind the scenes and trying to make things like he wanted himself to be in the main part of the Royal Rumble. And people, and even his own dad got pissed at him, but I don't know if that's true or not,
Mm.
I do find it sad that what killed Eddie was he was trying to bulk up to fight Lesnar.
Yeah.
His heart just gave out. And I mean, and then what that did to Chris Benoit really, sucked because I really liked Chris Benoit.
Me too. I was a big fan of Benoit.
But I don't know. I don't know if he turned it down or what's going to happen. I mean, we don't know until it happens. That's the thing. Like, I wouldn't be surprised to see him show up on AEW, at least to do some with his brother. Just, for once or twice. But I don't know how long he'll be there. He hasn't really been able to do a lot outside the WWE bubble. Like I said, his TNA run was a pretty big disaster, aside from that little bit of stuff he did his brother Nero. And I don't know, people, everybody, I've heard people recently talk about the pop that CM Punk got how it was the greatest pop of all time. No, that's bullshit. Talk about the biggest pops of all time. The Hardy Boys coming back at fucking WrestleMania. That was gigantic. Fucking Becky Lynch coming back at SummerSlam was huge.
Hogan at WrestleMania 9.
Hogan, yes, coming back.
When Yokozuna beat Brett, and then Hogan came out and beat Yokozuna.
Or how about The Rock versus Hogan back when Hogan came back as NWO?
Mm-hmm.
You know, even now people talk shit. Some people talk shit about Hogan, but he still gets huge reactions.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, I don't know, man. Shit, that all that stuff's so fucking, you know. And the great Malenko. You mean Dean Malenko?
Dean Malenko, yeah.
You know. Two that I absolutely miss so much right now that I wish could still do it. I mean, I know they're much older now and their bodies can't handle it like it used to. But I would love to see and I love it every time they come back and do even just a little promo or whatever. Fuck, goddamn, my neck hurts. Scott Hall and Kevin Nash.
Oh yeah.
I fucking love those guys. I mean, to me, those two are two of the biggest innovators in all of wrestling when they went to WCW and the angle they did of them being like the outsiders. They're kind of Vince's guys, and you know, and then that turned into the NWO, and it was so great.
Yep.
Ooh, greatest tag team. I loved the Steiner brothers back in the day. Loved the Steiner brothers. Loved Harlem Heat. Yes, the Outsiders. I would put the Outsiders in that category. Kevin Nash and Scott Hall had such great chemistry.
Yeah, that's a good question.
If we want to go back to the start of DX, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, great tag team.
Yeah,
but for me, my favorite tag team of all time is going to go back to when I was a kid. My favorite tag team of all time is the Rockers. I mean, the Rockers were like, that's who I wanted to be.
They were probably my first favorite tag team. Like they're the first tag team I remember, like saying, "Okay, that's my favorite tag team," you know. But I mean, I also like seeing the Bushwhackers come out like live. They were always fun. But as my favorite tag team, the Rockers.
I know that Bill's favorite tag team is the Legion of Doom, Road Warriors, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
I
used to like Demolition.
Yeah, for me, when I was a kid, it was the Rockers. I was the hugest Hulkamaniac. I loved Hulk Hogan. But to me, the Rockers was the guy I thought I could be. Because they were kind of like your normal everyday guy. But they were also young. They spoke to the
smaller guys too. That's the thing. Shawn Michaels is a smaller guy. And he was in the ring battling with all these these monsters at the time.
And that was before I got all fat. So, you know, I was like, no. I used to love doing that stuff, man. I mean, I wish we had like home videos of it. We don't. There's some pictures that my parents have. But like, we would make like our own fucking homemade rings and shit. Out of like the furniture in the living room and all. And you would literally see my ass jumping off the top of the back of the couch and landing on my little brother. Like
my friend's house growing up, he in his front, he had this big front yard, and there was like a little wall that like went down to like a lower yard, but it was only like a couple feet, like 2-3 feet. So we would literally use the top part of the yard as like the ring, and it would be like we do like Royal Rumbles. So we would throw each other over the wall, and you know we'd do the same rules if your feet touch the bottom. But it was like perfect. Like we just grew up with like this perfect yard to wrestle in.
We used to have wrestling matches on our trampoline. If you got thrown off the trampoline, you were
we did that too.
Like, I mean, talk about how did we not kill ourselves? You know, like.
Well, I mean, that's how my two front teeth, my top two front teeth, I broke them in half when I was a kid doing that.
Right.
So I have like they're like fake now, they pieced together. But that's exactly how I did it. Like we were wrestling, and one of my friend's shoulder went up, hit me in the bottom of the jaw, and I clanged my teeth together, and I basically spit out half of my two top teeth, and we just continued wrestling. We didn't care back then, you know.
Right.
I remember my mom picking me up and literally handing her my teeth, and she was like freaking out, like, "Oh my god!" I had to go to the dentist the next day and get them fixed.
Mhm.
But it's like I didn't even care back then, you know. Like if I
Yeah.
did that now, I'd be freaking out. Like this sucks.
You know, I have seen a bit of him, but I don't get to watch a lot of NXT. I don't get to watch a lot of wrestling as much as I'd like to, anyways. Period. Like, I watched Raw today from this past week on my lunch break on Hulu. Thankfully, all the commercials are out, so I could watch the whole thing. I watch as many Raws and SmackDowns as I can, but there are sometimes weeks go by where I miss one, sometimes a whole month, and I just catch up on the highlight videos, and then I catch up on, and then I watch all the pay-per-views, and then even on like AEW, I don't watch AEW every single week, but I try to get in there and catch a Dynamite and a TNT, especially if I know somebody's going to be big on there or they're going to have a big match. I try to get in there and watch it. But like Darby Allin, that's the fucking guy's name, the little skinny bitch. I don't like Darby Allin, and they are pushing this kid so hard. Like I said, I don't hate I don't hate AEW. I have a lot of respect for what they're trying to do. I just think they need to do better. They need to book their shows better. They need to utilize this talent that they've been getting better. And they need to stop just trying to copy what WWE has done. And do their own fucking thing. And maybe I'll give them a little more respect. Their shows, I watch their shows and you get one fucking match and the rest is promos. Like literally, it's like that's not a wrestling show to me.
It's funny though because I remember back in the '90s watching like the rest of the WWF shows, and like so many of the matches would just be like some jobber against like somebody you liked, and then
right,
like I remember watching like the Sunday show, the Saturday shows, and almost every match was like a nobody against like Hunter Hearst Helmsley when he was Triple H, right. And then it was like a no name against Henry Godwin, a no name against Marty Jannetty, and then there'd be like one match that actually had two people that you cared about. But I loved it. I mean, I ate it all up back then. I didn't care. I wanted to see these guys get squashed,
Yeah. I'll always be the WWE guy. Always. I'm always going to like them more. And when I say WWE, I literally mean everything they own now too, because I love WCW. I loved ECW.
Yeah.
All those stuff that WWE now owns. That's me. That's my shit.
Yep.
AEW. I think they've got a long way to go before they talk a big talk. They really do. And the dirt sheet writers and all those guys that love to sit there and bash WWE, they try to talk them up bigger than they are. Like they talk about how AEW beat SmackDown's ratings, but then when you watch it or whatever, when you actually go and look, they beat SmackDown's ratings for like the 3-minute interval where SmackDown was on commercial and they weren't.
Yeah.
It's like, it's never like they fully beat. They have not, and they will not beat a WWE, not for a long time at least. Give them 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Give them some talent, start utilizing and booking that talent correctly, and get rid of all these fucking loser little skinny guys they got.
WWE just has that thing where even with the toxic fandom, even if people stop watching for years, they always end up going back. I mean, I'm one of them, like I grew up watching it, like religiously. And every now and then, I'll miss like a few years and then I start watching it again for a couple of years and whatever. And it's just, I feel like you always go home. I mean, WWE is like home to wrestling.
I do too. There was a time where I didn't watch any wrestling like at all, period, for like 5 years.
Yeah, me too.
And it wasn't out of anything other than the fact that I worked at the prison. I was super fucking busy. And I didn't have when did I have time to watch fucking wrestling?
Yeah.
So I didn't watch it for like forever. And then when I met my wife and I was living and roommating with Bill, we went to a couple live shows here. And then I met my wife and I took her to a live show and she loved it. And she started watching wrestling. That got me back into watching wrestling.
Yep.
But like,
yeah, Mr. Bones.
One thing I love about it is like, at least, it's like you could miss wrestling for months and then you could watch something and you'll be completely caught up again.
Yeah, Exactly.
Like you don't have to watch it every fucking. It's not like a like
Mhm.
you know it doesn't. You could be okay. This guy's the champion now. This guy and this is what. Okay, cool. I'm
Yeah.
caught up. Let's do this.
You can just follow from there.
Yeah. I don't know. That's just people could say, like I said, they can say whatever they want, and I will respect your opinions for real. Craig, I love you. I don't even know if you're still there. You probably said, "Fuck you, Brad. I'm going to bed. Fuck you." But Craig, I respect your opinions on it. I think it's great how you love the old shit. I do too. I just like it's like okay, we'll take this back to the music game. You know, me and Jay are always arguing what's the better Metallica albums, right? I say that I like the Black Album. Jay says he likes the earlier stuff that's more gritty and raw. Yeah, I like that more polished sound. I like that more professional sounding, better instruments, better studio recording. I like that polishedness that you get with WWE or WCW. Well, some of WCW stuff wasn't very polished, but
Yeah, no, I know. I mean, I feel like that's kind of how I feel like that's how you are with movies too. Like you prefer the Friday the 13th remake. You prefer the TCM remake.
Well, it just depends, though. I mean, like,
no, but for the most part,
I sure as hell don't like the Nightmare on Elm Street remake.
I know, but for the most part, you do seem to prefer like more polished versions.
With the Friday the 13th remake, though, what did it for me wasn't that it was more polished; it's that Derek Mears made a great fucking Jason.
Yeah.
And the kills were really good, and it had a very dark, good atmosphere. Same thing with TCM, but also, like I said, I saw that one before I saw.
Yeah.
But there's other movies that I love the grittiness of, things like House of Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects, and 31. I want that grittiness in those movies, but I don't want it in the Halloween remake. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're talking about a franchise, like I've said before, is, in my opinion, a classier horror franchise.
Yeah.
That needs to be filmed at this level. And when you film it down at this level, it takes away from it for me. Yeah, that was funny. Molly Holly coming out to on the Royal Rumble. That was funny. I liked Hardcore Holly. Yeah, I will say this: that is one of the toughest fucking son of bitches ever.
I remember neck broken by Lesnar. Remember that?
Yeah, but not just that. There was a match. I don't remember who it was against right now. It was a tables match, okay? Mm-hmm. And he fell into a table, and you know how the tables had those like metal edges around them?
Yeah.
Like one of those was like open, and it sliced into his back.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
And his back fat was literally coming out of the wound, and he still finished the match.
Yeah.
That dude was a tough motherfucker. I mean, that shit looked like it was fucking hurting, and like it was gross. It was like that was like gore from a horror movie shit, and he still finished the match. Yeah. I love a lot of gritty movies, dude. I really do. I love independent films. It just depends on what it is, I guess, and like I prefer the original Nightmare on Elm Street over, say, New Nightmare, which is a much more polished film. But I don't know. It just all depends on what it is. Like, I mean, you got a lot of movies nowadays that are super polished that I can't stand. Like the Child's Play remake was a very polished film. I didn't like it at all. I mean, I'd rather watch fucking Luther the Geek,
Yeah. We'll finish up here in about 2 minutes. We'll go to 4 hours.
Yeah, no problem. You know, the one thing I'll say about that is I think it's funny that you got this character called Almost a Superhero, Nikki Ash, but she's actually being a villain. I'm waiting for them to change her to ASV, Almost a Supervillain. I will also say that I am not a fan of the current crop of female wrestlers in any of the promotions. There's one or two good ones, but other than that, they're just not as good as they used to be, in my opinion. People say they're better now, and I don't agree. Yeah. So, I don't know, man.
Everybody in the chat, thank you for joining us. Finishing out in about a minute here, so
And don't forget, everybody, to join us on the 20th. Joe, what time are we planning on doing that, you think? We haven't discussed really the timing.
I don't know. Well, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. But anyways, join us on the 20th for Slash Bros on Sopranos. Be starting with episode 1, the pilot episode. So
Everything
that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. All right, everybody.
All right,
Thank you. And good night.
Sorry, Joe. Didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's all right. What are we gonna? What are we gonna say?
No, you said you were saying goodbye and I was saying goodbye at the same time.
Oh.
I didn't realize you were saying. Night, night.